Good evening, everyone. Welcome back to the Cheesehead TV Draft Watch Party. I'm Aaron Nagler, coming to you live from the Cheesehead TV podcast studio here in New York City. You can probably hear some sirens out there. I had to crack the window because it's real stuffy in here. But we are going to be live throughout the entirety of rounds 2 and 3 this evening. The Packers obviously got on the board yesterday. Lucas Van Ness, the edge pass rusher out of Iowa. Fans, some were very excited. Some were very upset. I'm very happy with it. And I'm thrilled at the job that Brian Gutekunst is doing as a general manager, so much so that I wanted to play this little snippet from live from Stadium Drive because I absolutely love it. Nicole, roll it.
3, Gutekunst! 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 My team was doing so bad. I asked my general manager what we had. Oh, I said, Brian, Mr. GM, Brian, can you tell me what it takes for the Packers make the Super Bowl again, Brian? And he said,
well, certainly that's an off-season kind of decision, but surely, yeah, we want all our guys back.
Gutekunst! 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 Gutekunst!
Man, shout out Matty Day and the guys. I absolutely adore that. I must have watched it 10,000 times yesterday, and when it stops and gets the little Goody soundbite, I die every time. Love it. Great work, gentlemen. Gutekunst, baby. It's the song of the summer right there. Speaking of friends, people we know, friends of show, I want to give a shout out to our friends over at Firecracker Farms. Spice up your game with Firecracker Farms' amazing hot salt. Use it on steaks, pasta, or in drinks. Everything is better with hot salt. Firecracker Farm is offering a 15% discount to Cheesehead TV viewers and listeners for a limited time. With Cinco de Mayo right around the corner, if you order today, you'll have your hot salt in time for the festivities and wicked spicy margaritas. So go ahead, go to firecracker.farm now, place your order, and get ready to spice up your game. Don't forget to use DRAFT at checkout for 15% off. Everything is better with hot salt. That's firecracker.farm, promo code DRAFT for 15% off. Do it, people. Let's welcome in some Packers fans worldwide. It's what we do here at Cheesehead TV, devoted to them. Oh, here's some diehards, ladies and gentlemen. That's right. None of this pomp and circumstance from day one, all the glitz, all the glamour. This is the hardcore group right here. These are the people that really love their green and gold and who absolutely love the draft. That's how we roll here at Cheesehead TV. Want to give a shout out real quickly to Joseph because I know we'll be leaning on his expertise and knowledge more and more as the draft goes along. Joseph, I see you got your board set up. How you doing tonight? And who do you think or who do you have your eye on when it comes to the possible Packers selections tonight?
Good evening, Aaron. So this is a very tricky situation I think the Packers find themselves in. There's a lot of teams trying to trade up with the Pittsburgh Steelers, and they're not all for Will Levis. Somebody's going to take a run for these tight ends, and I could see it coming very quickly. We might see some draft crushes gone. I could easily see Darnell Washington head to the Raiders like 2 picks before us.
No.
If the Titans can't get a quarterback, they might need to look for a tight end themselves in Mayer or Laporta or anybody of that nature.
Right.
So I think really if, Packers fans were dejected from last night, I think you'd probably see your wide receiver pick right here. They brought in Rashee Rice for a top 30 visit. He fits, I think, what they're trying to do. He's a movable piece that doesn't, make the offense one-dimensional. So I think we could see him right here if the tight ends start to come off the board, and maybe they'll find another one maybe later on down in the round.
What about Musgrave? I hear a lot about him, but I haven't heard him connected to the Packers very much. But I like him as a player. What are your thoughts on the Musgrave, the tight end?
I like him too, but just too many injuries and just not enough time on the field. I haven't heard anything, read anything about the Packers connected to him at all. So I think he's, for a lot of teams, it's like if he just continues to slide maybe like 4th, 5th round, then he's like, okay, sure, why not? We'll spin the wheels on this one. But I just can't see the Packers, given the need that they have at tight end, to want to go with a guy whose injury history is a little concerning, or more than a little concerning, when you've got guys who've been playing in, like Michael Mayer has been playing, what, 36 games,
Right.
So
Big
you
time
got
ball.
guys like that, who can play and have played consistently. It's kind of hard to go for a Luke Musgrave, despite the athleticism that he does show in testing.
I'm looking at your piece at CHTV.com, which I encourage everybody to take a look at, looking at possible day 2 targets. And you mentioned Michael Wilson out of Stanford. That's a guy I'm not very familiar with. What about him do you think might attract the Packers' eye?
He's a Senior Bowl standout. He dominated drills at the Senior Bowl against some of
They
the
love the
top
Senior Bowl,
cornerbacks
no
there.
doubt.
And I saw him, he won at every level during the game. He caught some short, he caught in the middle of the field, and he beat some guys deep. And now he does have some injury concerns himself, nagging hamstrings, but nothing like serious when you're talking about, like, shoulder, spine, things of that nature. And sometimes with these receivers, those hamstrings, they haunt them for an entire year. So if he can
Right.
stay healthy, he could be a guy that sees his name called right here in the second round. Maybe some teams are kind of spooked and they might wait till the third, but I have him right now as probably one of 2 or 3 receivers with a second round grade. So I don't think I've seen the Packers talk about him at all. But again, minus Rashee Rice, as far as second round grade receivers go, he falls right under him with the RAS score. Rashee is 9.57 and Wilson is 9.55. They're not burners, but just like neither was JSN, they're guys that beat early.
Right.
Like the snap, they get the release off, and they're just like Devontae Adams. Devontae Adams didn't have to run 30 yards to beat you. He beat you from the line of scrimmage to like 3 yards, and he was gone. And that's, I think, what LaFleur wants, is that those quick passes and guys who can move all over the field and create mismatches. So Wilson or Rice would be an excellent selection right here in the second round.
Now, I know a lot of the kind of talk and focus has been on the offensive side of the ball, especially since they didn't go offense last night. But there is a possibility that they look at the defensive side of the ball, continuing to, so to speak. Well, do you think, to me, it's like, I know Keon White has gotten a lot of buzz. Do you think that's a legit possibility? Do you think that's someone they would take? Or is that more just kind of name recognition? Because that, again, that's a guy I've heard of. So that means it's probably a pretty popular dude. Because I know you look at all these guys. I only look at a handful.
Keon White is my draft crush on the defensive side of the ball for this year's class. Uh, I don't know quite if Van Ness is going to be a guy who's going to rotate inside. He has the power, but I just don't know. But Keon White, he absolutely has the power. He has the length to where that Z role that we fell in love with a couple years ago when Darius Smith came to the Packers, where he can line up from a 2-point stance, from a 3-point stance, possibly reduce even further inside, 3 technique, 4 technique. He is, in my opinion, almost a positionless player, in the front 7. Maybe outside of off-ball linebacker, you can just line him up anywhere and just let him eat. So if he's there, I don't know. I do think the rotation of the defensive line does need one more player. Outside of Wyatt and Kenny,
Right.
and then along with TJ's, there needs to be somebody else. I don't know if Duke's going to go right back to the well this early, but there needs to be somebody else who could play significant snaps early, and then actually, get production, get to the quarterback, stop the run. Keon White does that. He's an ascending player, only been a defensive end for 2 years. He's a converted tight end, so the athleticism is there. He could possibly drop back into coverage and pick it off and run it back for a touchdown. So I'm excited to see if he comes to us. I just hope he doesn't go to like the Bears or the Vikings.
Yeah, exactly. I had Darnell Wright, my draft crush, go to the freaking Bears last night. I hate it. I hate it. Thank you. We got a couple super chats here that I think you could absolutely speak to here. Kelvin starts us off with, reckon we'll stick with our picks or move about? It's a good question. What do you think?
I don't think this is the draft where Gooden wants to move around. I know he'll say his normal, we want to move around the board, but he was blessed with an extra pick with the departure of Aaron Rodgers. There's a lot of holes on this offense and the defensive side of the ball. Outside of a really premium player, which this draft class, especially on day 2, doesn't really possess, outside of him just having his own draft push, like, I just gotta have this guy. I just can't see them moving up. Moving back, sure, like the Patriots, who we don't know for sure if they were targeting Van Ness, but if a guy is there and they just miss him and like, okay, we'll move back 4 or 5 slots and pick up another pick. But I just
Yeah.
can't see him necessarily moving up. I mean, with offensive line, the defensive line, the secondary, a wide receiver, and then another quarterback. I mean, and we've only got 3 picks
A
today,
lot of stuff.
so
Exactly. There's
I can't see
a
him
lot to
moving
get
up.
to. Yeah, I'm with you on that one. Gary asked a good question about a player that I know has been kind of talked about in Packers circles. I don't know if he's connected to the Packers, like in like the 30 team visits, whatever. But Gary asked, Jonathan Mingo is another fine compliment for Jordan Love. He's the kind of receiver whose physicality can bail out a young QB who makes a bad decision. He can also outgoon the goon. I like that. What do you think of Mingo? Like I said, I've heard a lot about him this last kind of week, 10 days or so. He's really seemed to come on in the draft conversation, but I don't know how realistic a fit he might be in Green Bay.
I think Mingo's a pretty good fit for LaFleur. He's one of those chess pieces that he could take advantage of on the offensive side of the ball. Kind of a bigger, stronger Amari Rodgers, where he has the physicality that a Rodgers wouldn't have, on that side of the game. So I think he could go. I'm not sure where he goes on day 2. I'm really thinking solid 3rd round guy. Maybe somebody who really loves him
Right.
to see him in the 2nd round. But the athleticism, the physicality, he's there. And then again, a gadget player, but not a player where he's like, you're only going to trot him out there for just this one play. And that's what I'm concerned about is, if we bring in a guy who's like, he just has that one trick pony, the defense says, oh, he's so and so, and then boom, they adjust, and then the guy struggles to do exactly what you brought him in to do. But Mingo, he's not that guy. He could, score at deep, he can score in the middle, and he can take it and run it. So I'm all for Mingo. I just don't know quite where they value him.
Right. Jeff Ness asks, what about safety? And it's interesting that Branch is still out there. I know his testing was subpar in the parlance of the Packers and RAS and all of that, but man, I really love him as a player. Do you think he or another safety might be a possibility here on day 2?
I think safety is really going to depend on Branch and when he goes. I think the league is pretty much saying, like, we know this safety class isn't the greatest. We're not going to spend premium
Right.
money, especially given 2024, there's going to be a better class to choose from. The Packers did get the free agent Dartavius. So, and then as far as I know, Adrian Amos is still a free agent. And I think really in
He
the
is.
back of my
Yep.
mind, Goody's like, if I can't find anybody, let me pick up the phone. Like maybe in the 7th round, like
Right.
we're just minding our business. Like Packers signed Adrian Amos to a 2-year deal. So it really just depends on when Branch goes. I think you have to pick your poison. You can pick a less than stellar athlete with good production, like a Branch or a Jamie Robinson or a Jordan Battle, who he himself didn't test very well. Or you can pick a high
Right.
end athlete like a Sidney Brown, Julius Brents, who I think is a perfect conversion project from corner to safety, or maybe a Trey Dean who's has as a plus athlete himself, but not necessarily the production or the elite skills that you're looking for. So it'll be a question of how teams solve that dilemma. They're going to take the athlete or going to take the production. You don't really have both in this draft class.
Is there one guy you're pulling for to go off the board for the Packers tonight?
Outside of White, yeah, he's really the only guy I'm I'm I don't want to get my heart set on Darnell Washington. I really feel like
I know.
things are
That's my guy.
I don't I don't want to think about Washington. I don't want to think about Mayer. White, I think, is the
Right.
most realistic guy, along with Wilson. I don't know if they're high on Wilson. I'm satisfied with Rice. Somebody asked me in the article, like, how do you feel about Van Ness? I'm like, I'm neutral. Like I respect the pick. It's a need. I don't love him, but he's good. So same thing with Rice. So outside of White, I really can't say I'm too in love with just a prospect. Like, oh, like I really hope they pull this guy in.
Joseph, you're an absolute legend. I'm gonna obviously come back to you quite a bit tonight and throughout tomorrow. You got that board working. I love it. I love it. Um, the Steelers have made their pick, so we are off and running here in round 2. Bob Marley, thanks to the super chat. He says, "Better FaceTime this next pick, or else." Got to make sure that cell reception is good, right? I love it. We got Rocky Mountain Fly. Thank you for the super chat, man. The pick swap made things interesting for all parties involved in that range. New York Jets got sabotaged. Excited for LVN's upside. Thoughts? I mean, I don't know if it's true sabotage, if they probably had a pretty good idea of what the Packers were trying to do there. We talked about it last night with Justice. The Patriots were probably circling around Van Ness. They had a number of guys in, as everybody does, and Van Ness would be one of them. It's certainly the type of player that Belichick and company would, in historical terms, like to select. So I think the Packers were wise to want to get up over them and the Jets, who also took a defensive player who can rush the passer and probably got what was left over from that selection at 13 by the Packers. And kudos to Brian, man. That's why I led with the song. I mean, he's playing this stuff really, really well. I wish he got a little bit more credit for it from Packers fans worldwide, but that's just the way it is in this world we live in now. Dean Thompson, thanks for the super chat. Do I see Pepe Sylvia on that board? Joseph, that's a question for you. I don't even know who that is. Let me see.
Oh, he stumped me on that one. Pepe Sylvia. He stumped me on that one.
That's got to be a. Oh, that's a
That's a
meme. There you go.
Oh, I
I
was
love it.
like,
I'm like, what? Let's go to Ken. I know he has his hand raised. Ken, you're a gentleman and a scholar, as always. What's up, buddy?
Thanks. Hey, I watched an interview that Van Ness did at the Combine. I don't know if you saw that, but the thing that stood out to me is how he said
Saw
he
a
was
snippet of
huge
it.
Bears fan. He was a huge Bears fan.
His whole family.
And so I'm wondering if we can put a challenge to you to be the first person to get him to say the Bears still suck.
Well, that's my training camp goal set. I like it. And it'll be perfect if I can get him to do it in camera. Like that'd be wonderful. But yeah, I did see that his whole family are diehard Bears fans. So that's got to be awkward. That's gonna make for some awkward conversations at Thanksgiving. But we'll see. Hopefully, I'd love to get. Let's get Van Ness on the show and have him say that, and we can clip it and use it as our like YouTube intro. Oh, Amar's here. Everybody behave. Amar's in the house. What's up, man? Hope you're doing well. Vex,
Doing great, bro.
got a
Doing
super
great.
chat here. What's up, man? Vex, thanks so much. Aaron Rodgers hasn't even been in a good division before. This year could be a real struggle for him. All right, let's be nice. Let's be nice. I mean, you're not wrong, but you didn't have to say it. I mean, we'll see. He led the Packers to a victory over the Dolphins last year. He's got some practice now. And the what do you call it? The Patriots. The Jets beat them up pretty good though. What else we go? Where else we go? You guys are hilarious. Jim, what's going on, man?
Hey, I just wanted to reiterate what the sentiment in the room from last night, because I was thinking about it half the day today. How awesome is David Bakhtiari? What I mean, that was
He's dope.
such a great conversation. And I just every time I hear him talk, and I was thinking last night when he was talking about again, I go back to an interview you did with him on Nagler's Never Right a couple of years ago. The guy is just
Right.
he's so candid. And to get those insights that you never really get because they're all trained to, you know, not say anything. So
Yep.
it was just awesome. Thanks again for bringing him on. That's all. It was just like, what are you
Oh
doing here? You
man,
got to be. You
of
should.
course.
You should be out trying to book him again for pretty much every time you can get him.
Well, we had a nice. That's really nice of you to say, man. We had a really nice chat. Basically right after the Barstool thing dropped, and I kind of said what I said on the radio, and he had kind of tweeted it and blah blah blah, and then we talked, and he was like, he was in that conversation very candid about wanting not to like censor himself and just, be authentic every time he speaks. And I can appreciate that. But then, like I said on the stream last night, I get it's tough, man, because then you see what happens. It gets blown up and dissected and turned into something it isn't. Like the spirit of the conversation is completely twisted and distorted. So I told him last night and back then, I just really appreciate it. It's rare. And it helps, he's an older player now and he's established, and it's not like there's going to be too much by the way of consequences. What are the Packers going to do? They're not going to say don't do media. Like they're not going to say that to one of their stars. So yeah, I really appreciate his time, and I really appreciate what he's kind of formed here with CHTV, because we've had him on many, many times.
Yeah. It was the best.
Thanks a lot, Jim. We got Jeff Ness. Thanks for the super chat. I'm considering changing my first name from Jeff to Van. Nice. Get it? Because you got the Ness. I'd save money on a custom jersey. I like it. Justin, thank you for the super chat. Bakhtiari saying he's only been to Kroll's once was sad. Oh, I am changing that. That is getting changed when I'm there this summer. Oh, I couldn't believe that. That is just unacceptable. So what do we got? We got Joey Porter going to the Steelers, which of course is awesome. The pick is in for the Titans, and the Lions are on the clock. Can you believe the Lions took a running back in the first round? They didn't want to pay Jamal, and they don't want to use Swift, who's awesome, and they want to use a first round pick on a running back. I'm baffled by what's going on there in Detroit. I'm sure he's going to be a good player, but whoo, baby. Premium picks on a running back. Multi-millionaire don't need no burger sandwiches. Man, everybody needs some Krolls in their life every once in a while. Nothing wrong with that. Oh, the Titans took the quarterback. There we go. Will Levis off the board after waiting all night. Just interesting that Tennessee maybe, and they probably were trying to get into the first round last night. I'm sure they were attempting to get that fifth-year option. But, 2 picks later, they've got him. And I had a lot of stuff on my timeline today as far as draft coverage, and how isn't it amazing that like 3 months of draft talk drove us to a point where people were legitimately talking about this kid like he was going to be a top 5 pick, like, which I don't think anybody who actually does this for a living in the league ever considered him a first day pick, let alone top 5. It's just fascinating how the draft industrial complex works. I'm sorry, Nicole, who was it? Somebody's got a hand up. No one miss him. Jeff, what's up, man?
Nothing. Actually, just continuing on that comment. Will Levis. I'm in the camp that he couldn't beat out Sean Clifford. So, but nevertheless, he's found a good place. The one thing, actually, you're talking about running backs, and I think about this a lot lately. That the running back, I feel bad for people who play the running back position because they never get to the second contract.
It's hard,
I
right?
mean, you look at a guy like
Yeah.
Saquon Barkley, who is a generational talent and is a 3-down back, can do it all. And he got franchised, and I'm not belittling. I mean, 10 million is still 10 million, but he's getting paid $10 million, and it's nowhere near what the other franchise positions get paid. Yet
Yep.
we all know there's a lot of production. It's almost like I mean, so that doesn't surprise me what the Lions are doing. Nobody wants to pay a running back. They just want to get rookies, burn them out, and get to the next one. That's it. And I just wonder
Right.
whether, and I have no idea how this would ever get done, is in the next collective bargaining agreement. That's the one position that sticks out to me that just, it never gets to the second contract. It hardly ever does.
Yeah, it's really hard. And the funny thing is too, is like, especially at that position, you're taking on more wear and tear when you tote the rock a lot, and you are kind of, grinding for extra yardage or trying to break a tackle or whatever, and you are constantly being ground down, and they do kind of this, chew them up and spit them out. It is interesting to me that Aaron Jones, while taking a pay cut to stick around here in Green Bay, is still a premierly, as far as running backs go, he's still getting a premier paycheck. And I think that at least reflects his value on the offense that he's playing for, you know?
I agree, but like, is he, I look at him as like, he's one of the most productive players in the NFL. He's in that category of
Yeah.
people that produce. But what's he making? $10 million? He's not making 20.
Right. 11, yeah.
You know?
No, he's not even close. The problem is like, and you're right, like it is something that they could or should bring up in the collective bargaining. The problem, of course, is that it affects so few players, especially when you start talking about the franchise tag. You know, the tag is applied to a handful of dudes every year. And so when you're the union and you go to the league and you're bargaining, that's not a chip that you really want to push for just because it affects so few of your members. Like I've talked to them about this before, and it's like, yeah, you know, we all understand that the franchise tag has become a bit of a cudgel that the teams can use, right? It was designed to be an honor, which it is anything but. It basically just caps your earning potential. But the problem is that it, like I said, it affects so few guys that it's not ever really going to be a priority when they are at the bargaining table, because there are so many other fucking things that they need. Well, we shall see. We shall see. We got, well, hold on a second. So then Laporta went to the Lions. There we go. There's our first tight end of the night. It's coming up, people. It's coming up. The tight end run. Here it comes. Is it John? Sorry. Has John got his hand up?
Washington's still available.
John, what's up, man?
Hey, sorry I missed last night, but I'm liking this guy, Lucas Van Ness. The film on him is great, and he's such a young kid. You know, they're really it's great when they can draft him young like this. And with respect to the running backs, they should get hazard pay, man. They're gonna get hit. I mean, hit hard every single play. They've got 2 or 3, 4 guys chasing them down. It's got to be the most rugged position in the game now for sure. And and Aaron Jones is just a gift, man. We got really lucky with him, and him willing to take a pay cut basically to stay with the pack is a beautiful thing.
He's one in a million, and he definitely carries the G. There's zero doubt about that. Okay, first of all, I can't say this person's name in the chat, in the YouTube chat here, because it is somewhat R-rated, but I do like the comment. Goody is probably as nervous as Rodgers crapping in the dark. I doubt that. I doubt that very much. I think Goody is probably calm, cool, and collected. It's everybody outside the building that freaks out. General managers typically do the work and are ready for most possibilities when things are happening on the draft. Who's we got here? Joey? We got Joey. Do we have your counterpart here tonight or no?
We do not have
we do
Big
not.
B. He is traveling.
So we had Big B last night and we get you tonight. See, we're spreading out the love.
Yes.
I like it.
Exactly. Maybe you'll get both of us for day 3, and that's when the real fun goes down. So we'll see then. But
we will see.
I am as soon as the pick was announced and it wasn't receiver and JSN specifically, I could already see what the Twitter reaction was going to be. And I'm just living in a different headspace, I guess. And I am ignoring like anything people want to say about investing too many first-round draft picks in the defense. I'm fine with it. I'm all in on this guy. And I just don't see the point in every year getting your hopes up, placing all of your hopes in one guy, and then if he's not drafted, just calling every pick that's not him a failure. So I'm all in supporting for this guy. And
That's a health.
Gonna be great.
That's a healthy attitude, Joey. That's a healthy attitude. Who are you looking for today? That being said, we all have guys that we want or that we like. Who's one of Joey's guys?
Pretty obvious answer here. Darnell Washington, I think, would be great.
Yes, sir.
I know there's still some other great wide receivers, tight ends available here, but Washington, if he's still available there at 42, I'd love him. And then outside of that, offensive tackle, any offensive lineman would be great too, because offensive linemen and outside linebackers, in my opinion, and this isn't like a hot take or anything, but they're outside of quarterback, the 2 most important positions in football to me. So I feel like I'm like a little kid watching somebody do a trick with offensive tackle and linebackers when you drafts one. I'm like, I'm done, Lauren. Do it again. Do it again. Do it again. Do it again. So hopefully get some more tonight.
Well, that tight end run is on its way. We have Michael Mayer going to the Raiders. Let's take a look at some of Cody's work here. Mayer to the Raiders.
Again, Williams kicks it up again. It's Mayer underneath the tight end, made a man miss, and the guy they call Baby Gronk down the sideline.
Bones a pass on 4th and 1, wide open, complete. Mayer striding into the end zone. Buckner again throwing it downfield, and oh, what a catch by Mayer!
Well protected. Goes one left at the pylon. It's a touchdown. Pine on the move, fires into heavy traffic. They had Mayer surrounded.
Now Pine looking towards Mayer, lobs one up into the air, and Michael Mayer brings in the touchdown.
There we go, people. Cody ripping it up. Michael Mayer.
Somebody check on
And the
him.
Rams are on the clock.
Not doing
I know, right? He's not going to be doing great. Soder, what's going on, man? Your hand raised like a gentleman over there.
This reminds me of remember all those years with Packers were kind of in that mid to low part of the second round, and every frickin' receiver came off the board prior to them.
While you were watching.
This is
right.
While you're watching. This is actually starting to get the exact same vibe of where we're just not in the spot to move up. We don't have the resources to move up. We can just only watch the tight ends go off the board. But that means the defensive ends, the offensive tackles, and the wide receivers should all be available when we pick at 42.
I mean, they've got resources. It's not like their cupboard is bare. Like they could, if they really wanted to say jump up here, the Seahawks pick at 37. I think they could do that, but you got to be really sold. Like Joseph was saying at the start, you got to be sold on the guy. Like you got to think he's going to be a big time star. Like he's got to be your dude. And who knows if Washington's that guy? I don't know, but I suspect, like Brian said last night, he kind of intimated that he planned on sticking with his picks and not moving around a whole lot. So we'll see. We shall see. So the Rams are on the clock. I don't think they've made their pick yet. Seeing if this becomes an official tight end run here.
They need a tight end.
Yeah, they do. They need a lot of stuff. Their pick is in.
They need guys. They need dudes.
Yeah, definitely. Luke, what's going on, man? Oh, can't hear you, buddy. Can't hear you. He's going to come back. All right. Joey, what's up, man?
Speaking of the Rams, yesterday at the draft, they had like a screen just showing all the teams' past first-round draft picks. And when it got to the Rams, all the way going back to 2017, it was just no pick, no pick, no pick, no pick, no pick, no pick. So that was a little bit funny.
That's great. That's great. It's got to sting a little bit being got to sting a little bit being the old St. Louis team sitting there with a Super Bowl trophy. That can't be.
Oh
fun.
yeah. I'm just glad I have the Packers, obviously, and didn't have to go through that. But going like they were like 8-8 every year. Jeff Fisher, that was his favorite record.
Oh yeah.
So the stadium they have there too is just horrendous. And the XFL team
no doubt
now plays there, and I went to a game there a few weeks.
Oh, I didn't know that. How was that? Oh no, bad.
It's really great, and they had by far the most success out for the teams in those leagues. And they originally just had the 300 sections down, and then they opened up at least part of the 400 section. So they had like upwards of 30,000 for every game. So they did really well.
Okay, damn, that's not bad at all. I like that. Okay, let's try Luke again. See if we got sound this time. What's up, buddy?
Can you hear me now?
Gotcha.
Can you hear me now?
There you go.
Yes, I changed my
I got you.
my service. Real quick, I love that people say that Love has no weapons. Last I checked, if we have 3 and outs with defense, it helps Love out a lot.
I mean, yeah, it does, but I understand wanting to get him more toys or get him more options in the passing game. I don't think that's like a terrible idea or anything like that. And the Rams took a guard. Okay, so much for a tight end run there. But yeah, I think it's just I keep reiterating it's such a hard reset for the Packers. It's weird because they are somewhat rebuilding, but they've got all these core guys, like David Bakhtiari or Preston Smith or Aaron Jones. Like, so there's gonna be an infusion of youth. And I think the idea of having a bunch of guys that can grow with Jordan on offense is a great one. So I understand people kind of clamoring for it. And also you need the bodies, if nothing else. I mean, right now, that wide receiver room is, mostly like 4 because they got the 3 the Packers drafted and they picked up the guy off waivers from Seattle. And outside of that, you don't have much, so you're going to need bodies at least. But now, does that necessarily mean they got to do it today? No, it definitely didn't mean they had to do it at 13 last night. That's for sure. What else? Ken, what's going on, man?
So, I'm sitting here hoping that Darnell Washington falls to us. And I'm wondering, I think
Seattle just took an edge player, so still going.
Yeah, one of the things I'm wondering is maybe he's falling a little bit and could fall to us because I think the Packers in their system and LaFleur value a big blocking tight end a lot more than a lot of other teams in the modern NFL. And so it might be that we have more value for him than a lot of other teams do. Just a thought.
It's possible. I mean, we know he's physical, right? And he doesn't shy away from it. And he likes to stick his nose in there, kind of like Big Dog did. So, yeah, I mean, I think there's every possibility that he's going to be one of their selections. But it's funny because we're all kind of, not we all, but a lot of us are fixated on him. We really like the player. And that always tells me that he's probably not going to be the pick. So that's usually how that works. Rocky Mountain Fly makes a good point. Have to assume health, but Watson goes down again. Oof. I mean, that's part of the league, man. It's part of the game. Injuries happen. Sorry, Ken, I cut you off. What were you going to say? Sorry about that. Oh, you're muted. You're muted. You're muted. You're still muted, buddy.
I'm sorry. What I was saying is
there you go.
What I was saying is I think the fact that we've had Mercedes around for a few years here has made us appreciate maybe more than some other teams what a big tight end can do for you in the running game. And the fact that this guy can also potentially catch passes pretty well is something that the Packers may value that more than other teams. That's all I'm saying.
It's possible, yeah. And I mean, it's funny, you watch the job that Big Dog does getting out on the perimeter. That's what's so impressive. I mean, especially at his age. I mean, 100-year-old Mercedes Lewis is doing reach blocks on defensive ends and springing, big runs by Aaron Jones. There are 2 that come to mind in particular. There's one against Minnesota in Lambeau, and there's one down in Miami where, it's just incredible to watch his ability. And yeah, I think certainly with the wide zone stuff that they love to do, and we know that's a big part of what Matt wants on offense, it makes all the sense in the world. I think, we'll see. I think let's see, the Falcons have traded up, I believe. So they are on the clock. They took a big tight end last year, so I don't think this is a tight end pick.
Yeah,
so that's good that they don't need a tight end. So we got 4 picks after this until the Packers are on the clock for the first time in the second round. Cue the Jeopardy music. So Atlanta, who are they taking? Let's see who they're taking yet. Hold on. I'm in full pick tip mode. So if anybody doesn't want the picks tip, you should probably turn us off because we are going to talk about whoever gets taken when it happens. Although right now I can't find who they took. Oh, they took an offensive lineman. There we go.
Bergeron.
Yep. There we go. That's so they're going offensive line. Panthers are on the clock. 3 more picks until the Packers are on the clock. Get the graphics ready, Nicole. Exciting times.
We don't have a Bergeron.
Joseph, what are you thinking? No, we do not.
That's too bad. I mean, Darnell is still there. Rasheed Rice.
Yes, he is.
Still there. I mean, I wish you hadn't gone to me because see, we're setting ourselves up for some heartbreak, and I just, but he's there for now. Yeah, we know the Falcons. Well, I'm not sorry, the Carolina Panthers. Well, I don't know. Carolina might need some offense for their quarterback. So
maybe.
Yeah,
it's possible.
But let's pray about it.
Let's pray about it. I love it. Yeah, Andy Herman's having a rough night. They're taking all his guys are coming off the board before the Packers pick.
Who is this other guy?
I hate to see it. He loved Bergeron. He loved who was the other one? Mayer. He loved Michael Mayer. Dr. Genesis, I'm with you, man. I run it up if Washington is there. I run the card up. Run it up.
I had a thing for Bergeron, but he just wasn't sexy enough for me. And I don't think he was sexy.
Well, I mean, he's an offensive lineman.
He was sexy enough.
Outside of Bakhtiari, there aren't too many sexy offensive linemen.
But but congrats to the Seahawks. They needed the help. But yeah, yes, Adam, Andre, but he kind of underwhelmed at the Senior Bowl. But I do like him on day 3. I do like Andre Iosivas on day 3. He is sexy, at least on paper. So we'll see.
There you go. Sex appeal. That's what we're looking for. I like it. Speaking of sex appeal, let's talk to Soder. Soder, what's going on, man?
So might be viewed as a luxury pick, but what if Hooker is there? And what's kind of
they brought him in
view on him?
They brought him in to look at his knee.
I think they're.
It would be an absolute luxury pick.
I think they're praying he just slides, like with that knee. I mean,
yeah,
Levis is gone. There's not really a team right now that sticks out to me that says like, oh, we need a quarterback. I mean, you always want to get one when you don't need one, but there's not a team that just says like.
I could see the Saints. I could see the Saints getting in the quarterback mix. They signed Carr, but they need a young guy long term who is coming off an injury. That'd be a possibility right there. I would think.
Isn't
let him sit and develop?
Jameis still there?
He is. He did resign, but that ain't a long term solution. You know what I mean?
It's not. I mean, but you know what you got in Jameis. He's gonna throw for 7,000 yards, 800 touchdowns, and 800
and a million picks.
So, but
I can't wait.
So it is what it is. But I think the Saints are still trying to hold on to their facade of a window with Michael Thomas and what's his name? I can't think of his name right now. Back.
Kamara.
Yeah, Kamara, who I don't know.
The Panthers took Mingo. Panthers took Mingo. So he's off. Mingo is off the board. Take him off your boards, ladies and gentlemen. There goes a wide receiver. Raging. Chad, thanks for the super chat. Has anyone tried FaceTiming Raji? Maybe he doesn't get cell reception at his house. Hey-o. Ryan, Washington? Yes, I think it's definitely in play. But that really means that the Packers probably won't take him because we're all hoping for it. Well, we'll see. Amar is here with his hand raised. What's going on, Amar? How you doing?
Sorry, the kids are going crazy in the background. I just want to let you know that Mingo
happens,
picked, and I'm not very happy right now.
I told you not to get connected and attached to these guys, and every year you do it, and you do it to yourself, Amar. You do it to yourself.
Thinking about Michael Scott, the gift. I'm ready to get hurt all over again. That's me every single time.
That's you. Every draft. I love it. I love it, man. Just know you're going to be having a ball watching whoever the Packers select throughout this season and their careers. We got John Parr in the comments there. I love it. Washington over Musgrave. I would. The Packers might not. They might go Musgrave. We was talking to Joseph about that a little bit at the top of the stream. It's hard to know for sure, but I think Washington fits the bill in Green Bay big time as far as his athleticism. What Soda was talking about, what Ken was mentioning regarding what they asked those tight ends to do. We'll see it. We'll see. We got the Saints are on the clock, and then the Cardinals pick, and then the Packers will be on the clock. Packers board is probably way different than all of fandom. Son of Khan, you are not joking. That is absolutely correct. Someone just put in Johnny Laporta went to the Lions, the third pick of the second round. Give me Washington or give me death. Okay, relax. Hold your horses there now. Come on now. Let's just chill out here for a second. I hate this because now it's like that. We're almost there, and you just want to find out who they take, and we got 2 more to go. I hate it. This is the part I hate. What are you going to say, Joseph?
I just want people to brace for Washington being there, and then
and them not taking them. Yep. That's 100% going to happen. And he's going to do it. And he's going to do it twice. He's going to do it twice. Can't wait. Really excited. It's going to be great. I'm just going to turn off Twitter for the night. JD Ram, no. Corey is very, very busy this weekend, unfortunately. So he might hop on tomorrow at some point for day 3. But for the moment, no, nothing. Corey Banky is living life and being a very important person. All right, come on now. Saints are on the clock. Let's go. Come on. Joey, what's up, man?
I did want to share 2 great jerseys that I saw at the draft yesterday, and I did tweet these out. But I first saw a J.K. Scott jersey, and then
Shut up.
My favorite Mike Pennell jersey, which
wow, what a deep cut.
Yeah, I applauded the man wearing the Pennell jersey to drag that out of his closet, but saw a lot of Packers Rodgers jerseys, saw a few Jets Rodgers jerseys.
Really?
So
number 8s?
Yes.
Number 8s were in the crowd?
Yeah.
Wow.
There was one that was an actual authentic one, and I'm assuming he just went to a store and had that customized. And then there was one that used to be an Elijah Moore jersey that was duct taped to be a Rodgers jersey.
That's perfect. That's perfect. I love it.
Absolutely.
I love that someone already had a Rodgers Jets jersey. That's impressive. Watch them trade out. Yeah, Matthew, it'll happen. Sad to be missing Corey, as are we all. We are all very, very sad. Corey's not here. Who else we got? No Corey makes for a calmer Cheesehead TV. Don't worry. I'll go on a rant about some meat market later tonight. I'll spice it up. Don't you worry. The anticipation from Drew Brooks. Cardinals are on the clock. The pick is in. The Saints selected Isaiah Foskey. So that's not Washington. Thank goodness. Dave, thanks for the super chat. How is the 65% determined for plays? If the Jets sit him, do the Packers have a claim? I mean, he's got to participate in 65% of the total snaps on offense. Could they potentially sit him, say, towards the end of the year if the Jets aren't doing well? It's possible, but I don't think we're going to have to worry about that. Soder, what's going on, man?
So who are the top three guys? This is a pitch to Joseph, and holy cow, Brian Branch is on the board still. Do they go
Yes,
with
he
the
is.
best safety?
What do you think, Joseph? Where are we sitting? One pick away.
Top three.
One pick away.
Are we offense, defense doesn't matter?
Doesn't matter.
I'm with Washington. I'm gonna go with Keon White and let me flip my board real quick. We don't necessarily need him, but DJ Turner out of Michigan at corner.
Ooh, there we go. There we go. See, now we're talking. Mixing it up, getting the Packers fans riled up. Oh my God, if they went corner here, people would lose their mind. I think Branch would be a good pick. I really like his game, but I know all the stuff against him. I know he didn't test well. I don't care. I really like him as a player. That's just me. So Cardinals are on the clock. They still haven't selected. Rocky Mountain Fly, thanks for the super chat. Greeny, I think, said if they suck, they'd sit AR. Maybe. It's possible. Then the Packers would have a second round pick instead of a first, and it would be high up because they would suck. So it's fine by me. Also, I love how Greeny has become like a de facto mouthpiece for the Jets. Like, I don't really put much stock in anything Greeny says. Not disrespecting the man, just he is not representing the organization. So I don't really worry about it too much. Andrew, thanks for the super chat. I wanted to hear a day 3 Corey rant about how the Peshtigo fire was bigger than the Chicago fire. Thus, the Bears still suck. I mean, that's an excellent point that you make there, and I'm sure we can get him going next time we have him on. Hopefully, we'll have a Packer transplants to kick off the season, the start of training camp, and I can egg him on in that one. Ken, what's going on, man?
Well, I was just responding to what you said about the Jets being good or bad. What we really need is for the Jets to be mediocre for the first 10 or so games and then suck after that.
Yeah, exactly. The Packers are on the clock, ladies and gentlemen. The Packers are on the clock. That's right. We made that graphic. We're going to fucking roll it. That's right. Let's do it, people. All right, here we go. Who will it be? Who will the Packers select? 42nd overall, the pick from the Jets that they acquired from the Browns. Here we go, people. I can't wait. J-Mac is maybe joking. I don't know. Packers taking Hooker. I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, they took Brian Brom when they had Aaron Rodgers his first year as a starter, and they ended up taking Matt Flynn in the 7th. The Cardinals selected B.J. Ojolari. I can't even say his name. We'll see. We'll see. But the Packers are on the clock. Packers are on the clock. All right, let's see. Joey, what are you thinking, bud? Where are we going? What are we doing? Uh-oh. Did you hear me? He didn't hear me. Khan, thanks for the super chat. Pick 42 is going to be the answer to life, the universe, and everything. I mean, as long as we don't have any high expectations for it, that's the key thing. I wouldn't be surprised if the Packers tried to trade down here. I would suspect there's a good chance that they'll be getting calls. Brian did say he expected to stay put, so we shall see. The intrigue builds. I just can't wait. Maybe the Jets take Hooker at 12, at 43. That'd be great. Doug, I see you have your hand raised. I'm just going to wait until after the Packers select. All right, bud? Just got to wait until the Packers make their pick here. I want to make sure if we have a video, we can roll it. And if it's crazy, we can talk to Joseph about whoever this mystery dude is. So let's take a look. Come on now. What we got? No, nothing yet. Oh, wait. Can we roll the footage of Goody and the draft room? That's what we should do every time they're on the clock. If we have that, Nicole. There you go. Look at this. There it is. Live footage. Not live. Footage of the Packers draft room as they're waiting to make their pick. Oh, very impressive with the glasses and the tie and there's some dudes and other dudes and a lot of dudes. The Packers took Luke Musgrave. The pick is in. The Packers took Luke Musgrave. The tight end is here, and it's not Washington. There you go, ladies and gentlemen. Musgrave is the pick, and Joseph sits with his mouth agape. What do you think, Joseph?
I'm speechless. I'm literally speechless. I'm not saying it's a bad pick. I don't think this is a bad pick. It's just, again, the injuries, and we've had our share of drafting guys with injury history. I think we brought up Justin Harrell, last night.
Oh boy. All right.
So
right.
If he holds up, this is great. But if we see more of the same where he's missing 6-7 games a year, then it's so but
I want to read what John wrote in the CHTV draft guide. His write-up of Musgrave. Musgrave is going to be a true case study of potential versus production this draft season. He has starter potential and is one of the best athletes in the class at the position. The former Oregon State standout has ideal height, long arms, good hands, and elite athletic traits. For fit with the Packers, Musgrave is an interesting prospect that the Packers will do a lot of work on because he is an elite athlete with solid measurables. His shortened season in 2022 topped with an average 2021 limit the impact visible on tape. Musgrave is a prospect that the Packers will be hoping truly reaches his potential and is a better pro than a college player. He has a chance to be a complete tight end and play all three downs on offense, something Coach LaFleur would love to have at his disposal. Dun, dun, dun. So there you go. Musgrave is the pick, the first one in the second round. I can't remember. We don't have a video on him, do we, Nicole? I don't believe so. I know Cody did a lot, but he didn't do Musgrave. All right. And that means the Jets, of course, are on the clock. Even though I know the television is telling you the Packers are on the clock. That is not true. Yep. So, Doug, what are you thinking, buddy?
You have a lot of great experts on the show. You got like Underage Pack podcast. These people are some of my heroes in life. I would like to talk a little bit about culture. What do you think about the drafting ideas that the Packers have? Like, are they drafting these guys to set a certain like mentality on the team? Like Chuck here. Are we going to go with a safety? Is there somebody? Are we going for guys that they think just fit the culture because like athletically maybe they're all like similar, right? Like what are the Packers really doing?
I hear what you're saying there.
Like, are they going?
What's interesting is that they've done a really good job of making sure that the guys fit within their locker room and their culture. I don't know if they're drafting with that in mind per se, or if that's leading the thinking, but it's certainly a component. It's a piece, right? There's no doubt that they got to be able to basically exist within a framework that is the Green Bay Packers. You're living in a fishbowl. There is nothing else to do but play football, so you better be ready for it. There's no doubt about that.
You got to have character, and I think they think maybe guys with high character they can build them up, right? I'm thinking about the draft so far. There's a lot of drip at the draft. I'm wearing my drip right now in honor of everyone to draft.
You certainly are.
Myself, I wanted to ask like a lot of players yesterday, like how do you set that mentality, that edge, right, Aaron? Like for the team going forward, because we don't have Aaron Rodgers anymore. Like who's going to step up and be that leader? And I remember hearing Andy Herman talk about, that our guy that we drafted in the first round, he's like got a psychotic mentality on defense. Maybe he's like the Chuck Cecil of the defense. You know what I'm saying? Like I can get behind that a little bit. My brother called me up, Aaron. He's like, bro, I'm so angry about this. We don't have weapons. We need weapons. Why are we drafting these vanilla dudes that the Packers always get? He's like, I knew they were going to get him. Andy Herman's like, I knew he was number one on my board for the Packers to get. He's like, I just knew it. And everyone's angry. And I'm like, yeah, bro. But like, if he brings that, like, play Matthews, Chuck Cecil downhill, let's like pump him 5 yards behind the
smash mouth mentality, baby. I love it.
You know what I'm saying?
I'm all in. I am all in, dude. Doug, I'm all in. I love it. I think we got John as well with a hand raised. John, what do you think? Musgrave, your latest Green Bay Packer.
I'm good with the pick, but I was going to actually mention the reason I'm not happy that Corey's not here, so we can't talk about taking a kicker in the 3rd round.
Like all the kicker stuff, like it's just empty air this year.
I know it's easy to get them fired up with that stuff, and it's enjoyable.
Yeah. Well, okay, the Jets have made their pick. We'll see if they get Aaron Rodgers, an offensive lineman here. And the Colts are on the clock, which I think is hilarious. The Jets selected Joe Tipman, and we'll see who the Colts take before the Packers pick again. Look at this. Twofer here in the 2nd round. I want to go back to Joseph real quick. Joseph, as you're getting up and looking at your board, I'd love to know, they've gone tight end. Is this your guy? Do they go White here? They go defense? What do you think?
It could be White. It could be Rice. And then somebody else said it could be Washington. I think this could be one of those, I just call them the Ted Thompson drafts where, they go to the well 3 times for a player. I really believe DeGuara is just the H-back kind of tight end where,
Yep.
In the Jordan Love run version of LaFleur's offense, he'll probably get some more motion, some screens and sweeps out of the backfield, things of that nature. They need downfield threats. So I could definitely see maybe a 1-2, maybe a Musgrave Washington, maybe a Musgrave Kraft, maybe maybe a little too early for Kuntz and Mallory, but I could definitely see them going, an additional tight end at some point, either day 2 or tomorrow.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. I do think there's a very good chance they select another tight end. Maybe not at 45, but certainly sometime either tonight or tomorrow. Doubling up makes a world of sense. And to your point, they've done it multiple times, whether it was with the running backs, Ted's last year as GM, or Brian's first year when he got the wide receivers 3 in a row. I mean, especially you get later in the draft, why not, right? Throw those darts and see if you hit. I'm down with that, especially
I
like I
will
said on
say
day
though
3.
that if they don't go receiver day 2, then that will verify like, hey, they're only looking for the 3rd option in their offense, and that doesn't have to be on the first 2 days that they grab. Essentially Musgrave, as he pans out, that is your 3rd option. So now you're looking for a 4th option in the passing game, which doesn't have to be day 1 or day 2. So we'll see what happens on this. The 45th pick, I think, will pretty much lay out the blueprint for what we can expect later today and then tomorrow.
I love it. I got a couple of super chats I got to get to. Joe, thanks for the super chat. We got a Lucas and a Luke. What's next? It's a very deep question, man. I'm not quite sure. Rocky Mountain Fly, thank you for the super chat. Branching off culture, I think AR takes 8 regardless, but coming from Green Bay, history is paramount. I knew he'd let Joe's 12 stay up because he gets it. I very much agreed. I mean, we've heard from Aaron so many times about what an old school guy he is, how he loves the history of the game. I was very much with you. I didn't ever expect him to wear 12. So the Colts are still on the clock, I believe. Make sure here. Yes, still on the clock, still hanging. Oh, no. Still haven't made a pick. So while we wait for the Colts have made their pick. And that means the Packers are on the clock. Ladies and gentlemen, roll it. And the Colts took Julius Brents. And the Packers have a wide swath of people they could be taking with this selection. Dave, thanks for the super chat. Let's go for Trenton Simpson. Who's Trenton Simpson, Joseph? Do we know who that is? Or are people just going to be chatting fake player or names from television shows at me all night?
Trent Simpson, off-ball linebacker out of Clemson. He's a tie with me between him and Drew Sanders out of Arkansas for the best off-ball linebacker in this class. Quay's there. Quay did great. Well, he did pretty good. Let's say that. I can't say them going an off-ball linebacker on day 2.
I can't either. I like this suggestion from James in the chat. Keanu Benton. That's a player I really like. I really, really
I
like
do
him.
like
I'd
Keanu.
love him here.
I favor
I mean, I have no idea if
Washington.
like value-wise at 45 is okay, but I love that player.
I think Benton's more third round, but again, that's just my valuation. Could be different for the league.
Right.
I would rate White over him just because of the versatility. Benton, I think, is just your pure 4-eye, 5 technique guy. But again, he'd be a good guy for the rotation. I just don't know where they value him, in their own big board.
I hear you. Bradley hit with a super chat. With our first 2 picks, we select players that started, in all caps, a combined 2 games last year. Hope they're great, but doesn't give me the warm and fuzzies. Does Clay Matthews give you the warm and fuzzies? The all-time sack leader, if you're going by the official stats that the Packers keep, who started 2 games in college, and that was because the guy in front of him got hurt. What they did in college means very, very little. What they're projecting them to do in the pros is what's important. Don't get caught up in that nonsense. It's ridiculous. Brian Branch, I think Branch is a possibility here. I really do. We'll see. I mean, there's any number of ways they could go. That's what's kind of fascinating about it. Allison, what are you typing a lot into the chat here? The Packers need to give Jordan Love receivers, linebackers, and I don't know what else, quarterback. I won't know how to answer the question. My opinion, if you bring one in right away, he's going to get. Well, there you go. Allison throwing it down right there. I think the young people enjoy it when I get down verbally, don't you think? Anybody know that movie? Anybody? There you go. There's a trivia question for you. Name the movie. Okay, still waiting for the Packers who are on the clock. Marshall, thanks for the super chat. Over under, we draft a third Luke. Luke is a possibility.
We just trade out of the pick.
I'm trying to get confirmation on that. I haven't seen it confirmed yet. I saw somebody put that in the chat, but I have not seen that that's official. Lucas, you're draft eligible. That's good.
ESPN, it says
Yeah, we
Detroit.
did. We did.
There you go. Where is my Pick 45 trade to the Lions? The Packers traded with the Lions. Okay, there we go. The Packers have dropped down to 48.
But what did we get?
I like the fact that
6th round.
I like the fact that Brian and company are not afraid to trade with people in the division. Like we've seen him work with the Vikings and the Lions now, and I like that. Like I know old school, it was always like never deal with people in your own division, but I think you're just kind of cutting your nose off to spite your face when you do that.
Right. This is a Brian Gutekunst moment right here. This is I think I've said it before last year. Brian has always had that kind of coy, kind of smug, kind of thing to him to me, where he's like, yeah, I just schmooze over here with this pig.
The Lions took Brian Branch. The Lions took Brian Branch. That's their pick.
But if we get
let's roll the video.
Player,
Man, I like the music on that one. That's good stuff. A 5th rounder to move down 10 spots. Works for me. I like it. Not even a 6, a 5th rounder. Let's do it, baby. And there's still plenty of talent available. So we shall see. All right. So now what do we got here? The Patriots took, I'm so sorry, Joseph. The Patriots selected Keon White. There goes your guy.
He's a Belichick guy. He's a Belichick guy.
It makes sense.
Because
Yeah.
Belichick,
Yep.
he has a multi-front approach to defense, and White will be on the field every single snap. So, hate to see him go. But hey, he'll be stacking Aaron Rodgers.
There you go. Abdul, thanks for the super chat. Did they not like Branch? I know I can't speak for if they liked him or didn't as a prospect, but I do know testing wise, he did not come close to meeting their usual thresholds. Very poor RAS score. Just not the premier athlete that you would normally associate with a Packers selection. So yeah, I never really thought, after I saw the testing, I never thought he'd go in round 1, but I was hoping maybe round 2, but so much for that. He's in the division though. And then young Feezy Baby, thanks for the super chat. 5th rounders will hopefully give us our choice of special team specialists, kicker and punter. Every possibility, no question about it. Soder, what's up, man?
I'm kind of surprised the Lions went with Branch because you're going to put him indoors on turf, and that would seem to be the worst spot that you could put him on, right? I mean, unathletic guy indoors, that's not a good spin. But the thing I've noticed is it's very fascinating when they break in and they show you all of these rooms. Everybody is fist pumping. Everybody is high fived.
So excited, right?
And maybe 2 of these guys are going to work out.
I know.
I just.
Yep. There you go. It's an exciting time. I get it. Everyone's exciting. Everyone's going to be a Hall of Famer today. That's the whole point. So we got Patriots take their pick, the Commanders, and then the Packers pick. Commanders. It still feels weird to say Commanders. I can't help it. I'm too old. I'm too old and set in my ways.
They violated.
Not sure about the value of the trade. Why? How's that? Commanders.
Yeah, no, you have to go 1 or 2 syllable words for your nickname. You cannot use 3 syllable words. It does not work.
Yeah, that's very true.
Commies.
Very, very true.
It gets
commies. Oh man. Yeah, people talking about the value of the trade. I think it's great, and especially because it gives them ammo to maneuver up and down the board either tomorrow or even maybe later tonight. I'm fine with it. So come on, if we get Washington's pick and then we get the Packers again, come on now. Washington took Jartavius Martin, a defensive back. Jartavius Martin, which means, ladies and gentlemen, the Packers are back on the clock. There you go, baby. There you go. Let's see if they've updated this here. Teams, go to Packers. Whoa. I don't want that. So now, who's that 5th rounder? I love that 5th round pick that they just picked up was originally Jacksonville's, that went to Atlanta, that went to Detroit, and is now Green Bay's. That pick has moved, man. That pick has got some legs. Tom Grassi is melting down. Oh no, Tom, come on, buddy. Don't be one of those. I mean, he's probably melting down because it's good for YouTube. I guess I should melt down more. You get the Packers fan freaks out. The thumbnail of like, clip that. Goody Kunst doesn't know what he's doing, blah, blah, blah. So yeah, that just ain't my thing. What's we got here? Come on now. Okay, so that's that. All right. So just waiting on the Packers now. What do we think, Joseph? If it's not Washington, all right, I'm not getting my hopes up. If it's not Washington, who might it be?
I'm gonna butcher his name, unless he's drafted, and then I'll put more emphasis in learning it. Hold on, let me read my own article. Adetomowa
Right.
Adebawore out of Northwestern.
Northwestern. They brought him in for a visit.
Right, you brought him in for a top 30 visit. Ran 4.49 at the combine. I think baby, you have receivers that fast, in certain teams. So he's a little undersized for an edge, but he's powerful. He can slip by an offensive tackle. I think it's just more of getting a little bit stronger to compromise for the length that he doesn't have. So I'm probably going to call him AA for short, But
well, I think the Packers have traded again. The Packers have traded again.
I mean, I like it because we have holes. We need guys, and
we need guys.
This is
we
the
need bodies.
Spot of the draft. Like it's not a high end draft, but there's still a lot of good dudes, and I'm all for getting as many good dudes as we can because that's honestly what wins Super Bowls. It's your superstar gets you to the playoffs. Aaron Rodgers gets us to the playoffs, or did get us to the playoffs. But was typically our downfall is having that 4th or 5th round pick who would make that one play. He hadn't made a play all game, but he makes that one play, and then that just upends the whole game.
So they traded with the Buccaneers, who were at pick 50. So they've dropped down yet again. No word yet on compensation. But look, at this point, you got to think the tier is pretty set as far as they have a ton of guys who are most likely ranked pretty similarly on their board. So drop down, get a few more picks, and then take the pick of the litter whenever it is, that you are finally back on the clock. I do not doubt for a moment that the Packers probably have a few guys in mind that they don't expect to go here in the next 4 or 5 picks.
We need to sell Saturday.
50.
Busy.
Yeah, seriously. Con Krug, thanks for the super chat. I prefer the au naturel Aaron and Corey freakouts in real time during the season than the manufactured typical streamer freakout. Yeah, I hear you. I don't think Tom's manufacturing anything. I think he's very honestly probably freaking out because that's just how he rolls. But that is kind of like the YouTube thing, though, right? It's like Packers fan goes berserk. Steve, thanks for the super chat. More cheap labor. It's what it's about, man, especially when you're resetting your roster the way the Packers are. 100% need those guys to come in, work their ass off, get any number of dudes who are on their rookie deals to contribute because goodness knows they're going to have their hands full competition time when it gets to training camp and people are trying to earn jobs. Okay, what else we got here? Okay, so I love that NFL doesn't even have the Packers trade up yet. The second trade. Okay, what else we got? What else we got? White looks pissed. New England hates offense. I love it. Randy, Branch was taken by the Detroit Lions, just so you know. John, got your hand raised. What's up, buddy?
Yeah. So are we getting additional picks in the 5th and 6th round? Is that what's going on here?
Well, we got one in the 5th from the first trade with the Lions. I haven't seen comp on the trade with the Bucks yet.
Well, the Bucks is supposed to be the 50th and the 179th, right? I'm just saying we're picking.
I hadn't seen that.
We get an extra pick, so it seems like we're piling on at the end of the draft, at least at the later rounds.
Love it. It does mean we're going to be very, very busy tomorrow. Looks like they got a 6, yeah. Jason, thank you for the super chat. As an NDSU Bison fan too, I'm hoping this is Cody Mauch. He's a true team player, team leader, can play all 5 positions at a high level. He's nasty and mean between the white lines. They need some of that on the defense. Can he tackle? That's all I need to know. I mean, I think I saw someone in the chat earlier. Oh, well, then that doesn't help. I guess he can't tackle then. Can he tackle if Jordan Love throws an interception? That's my question. I mean, nastiness. Let's go. Let's bring some nastiness to the proceedings. Oh, and he got drafted by the Bucks apparently. So much for that. Okay, come on. Give me the pick. Give me the pick, people. Okay, the Steelers. Steelers selected Keanu Benton. Man, there goes another one of my guys. See, this is why I don't get attached. Why I don't try to get attached. John, what's going on, man?
I'm enjoying not hearing the Vikings pick anybody.
Yeah? You enjoying that? Is it a good time?
Hey, it is. I know.
I think they had like 5 whole
are not
picks.
happy.
Right?
Yeah, they've got very few. But no second. That's a good thing.
I love it. I love it. Adam, yeah, I do get attached. Against my better judgment, but I don't get so attached that I'm freaking out. Like, that's the point. Oh, Lord. Okay, so the Steelers took Benton, who I loved. Exhibit A of attachment right there. What do we think, Joseph? Who are the wide receivers that are available at this point? Who do you think maybe possibly could be a pass catcher that they could be watching fall to them?
I think that's why they keep trading back. I mean, nobody's been taken outside of Mingo. I mean, hold on, I'm scratching everybody off. I mean, you've got Ryan.
Yeah.
I don't think Josh Downs is in the mix because he's like 5'7". Bryce Ford Wheat is there.
Well, there's Wilson. You liked Wilson, right?
I do like Wilson. Jalen Hyatt is still there. Sarah Tillman is there. Xavier Hutchinson is still there. A.T. Perry, Deshaun Butte. I mean, I have 33 wide receivers on my board, and we've only seen like 6 go. And I think Goot could be like, hey, I mean, I've got guys I can pick. I don't got to pick them right now. Let me get some more, draft capital. I can get a quarterback, get an offensive lineman, get another defensive lineman. I mean, go for it.
I am down with it, dude. I am down with it. All right, let's see. I think the Packers are on the clock again. I can't tell. So many things going on here. Hold on a second. Let me make sure. Yeah, so Pittsburgh took Keanu Benton. I know that. Trying to find out. Do the Packers trade again? What the hell? I'm really confused here. Wait a second. I think we had a super chat. Sorry about that. Bryson, with all this first round talent, can we finally have a great defense? It's bound to happen by accident by now. I don't know, man. I don't know. I understand that sentiment. It is incredibly frustrating when you keep selecting on one side of the ball for like a decade and still see guys running wide open in the secondary. Or playing 5 yards off on 3rd and 3. All these things. Joe Barry doesn't have a whole lot of excuses left. There's no doubt about that. Jeff Ness, thanks to the super chat. I like the Tennessee wide receivers. I like Hyatt. He's so thin. I don't know, man. I worry about him holding up in the NFL, but who knows? Maybe they'll like him enough to take him. I know he's fast as hell. Always good. You think what Nicholas, expound on that. Where are you seeing that? Say it again. Oh, it is Jaden Reed. Yep. Jaden Reed is the pick. Jaden Reed. What do you think, Joseph? Oh, wait, we got to roll the graphic. Go. Yeah. Jaden Reed. Here's your wide receiver, ladies and gentlemen. From Western Michigan. Hey, the Western Michigan route. Gone that way before.
State, Michigan State. Michigan State.
Oh, I thought it was Western Michigan. Oh, okay. Oh, he started at Western Michigan and then went to Michigan State.
Yes, started. And elevated himself to go to a better program.
Look at that. Who would have thunk it? What's your takeaway? What do you think of this kid?
So Jaden Reed was wide receiver number 2 at the Senior Bowl opposite of Michael Wilson. Now, Michael Wilson got all the glory. He got all the balls. He scored. But, and this is where the scouting really plays into. Jaden Reed was just taking off on the defense. Like, he was making guys like miss. They were biting on his fakes. He actually did catch a touchdown on a deep fade, like a corner route, and it was called back to a holding call. So, I mean, technically he did score, but, and those are the things you got to look at. Like, how is this guy, like, even when he's not catching the ball, even when the quarterback is not looking your way, like, are you open? You know, are you doing the right things? Are you drawing attention to the defense? And that's what he did all game. He didn't get a whole bunch of actual like stats, but you got to look beyond the stats and watch the game. And it was the same thing at Michigan State. Michigan State didn't have a great quarterback, didn't have a great, passing game for the time he was there. And he was honorable mention Big Ten each year he was there at Michigan State. So it was just one of those things where in a better offense, he probably is a lot better on the production line, but he still was doing what he had to do to get guys to notice him.
Awesome.
He's number 4 on the slot
again, it's
on my board.
I was going to say, like, again, another Senior Bowl guy. They love the Senior Bowl. There's zero doubt about that. He's 5'10", 187 pounds. From our write-up in the Cheesehead TV draft guide, in a nutshell, another twitched-up speedster. Jaden Reed combines the art of route running with arrogant speed and acceleration. His speed is tough to handle. If he gains an inch vertically, it's over. If he gains any bit of leverage on crossers, he isn't getting caught. His confidence in his speed is evidenced by taking improbable paths to gain extra yardage than getting a few extra the easy way. His burst out of efficient breaks is startling to defenders if they don't get their hands on him. Not to mention, Reed also can win at the catch point, tracking the football well and finding a way to bring passes down through contact. There you go, ladies and gentlemen. Got yourselves a wide receiver. And I know it's not the one that anybody thought or expected, so they're going to hate the pick, and I love it. Oh, boy. Soder, what's up, man?
Joseph touched on it, but Jalen Reed played with some really bad quarterbacks and looked really good playing with bad quarterbacks. And I feel like this is kind of like he's a little outside of the parameters of what the Packers normally select at wide receiver at 5'10". But I feel like this is kind of like a slot guy that they're, that twitch guy that can kind of work the middle of the field, kind of do the slot things. And he has pretty good feel for the ball. So thumbs up. I'm kind of happy.
I like it. I like it a lot. I love the fact that he's got this speed that they're talking about. I'm all in on that.
And they acquired capital to pick him.
Yeah, while doing so, right? 5'10" seems small for a wide receiver nowadays. John, you're not incorrect, especially for the Packers. A little bit against type. And as I was saying, that's kind of been the thing with Brian. You never really know.
I think we have to give nod to Brian that he's evolving. I think we boxed him in and he's evolving.
A little bit.
Now he's not serving two masters of how do I get Aaron happy and then how do I make Matt happy. So I expected a outside the norm draft. This is a outside the norm draft class. You got to go outside the norm to find the people you need.
I like the chat is saying he can return punts too. He has 3 punt return TDs in his college career. I mean, we got an all-pro as a returner on kick returns. Why not get one on punt returns as well? I'm down with that. Nags, what you drinking tonight? I like it. Truffle Shuffle, that would be Carry the G, sir. I am drinking Carry the G. I'm sorry, who has their hand up? I couldn't hear you, Nicole. My bad. Doug, what's up, man? Oh yeah.
Yeah, buddy. They just pointed out the chat's great, the chat's genius. But the thing is, like, he's a special teamer, baby. He can return punts. And not only that, if you watch his tape, the guy separates. You ever heard that word separation? I don't know. We're Packer fans. I don't know if you're familiar with that word. Separate and excel and zoom past the defender.
Right.
You know. So as I'm on the Jeff Query vibe, you know, and so on a scale of 1 to 10, Jeff Query wise, he's like not a big dude. Jeff Query was skinny, but he was productive. In 1990, he had like 600 yards receiving for a dude that doesn't seem like he can do much, right? We need production. We need consistency. We need people to support Jordan Love. So this pick, a dude that can separate, maybe do some special teams. This actually seems like a pick we should have been picking like this back in the day, right? Maybe instead of getting like tons of 6'5" dudes, get guys that can separate, play special teams. Makes sense to me. I was thinking that we might go safety soon too, possibly. You know, we got these safeties from Illinois and stuff. We need DB help, right, Aaron?
Yeah, I think that's a good chance that happens in round 3. We'll see if they kind of materialize there. But I understand they need pass catchers, and they've now got 2 of them. We got a super chat here from Rocky Mountain Fly. I'm lost in the trades, but I thought this was the sweet spot, and we traded for a bunch of day 3s. In Goot, we trust, but ugh. Man, they still got 2 picks. They've still made the same number of picks. Who cares where they made them? They're still picking in the sweet spot. But right now, I want to give a shout out and a hello and a Green Bay Packers fan welcome from Packers fans worldwide to a man who needs no introduction, but I'm going to give him one anyway. Tramon Williams is here, Super Bowl champion, Packers Hall of Famer. What's going on, Tramon? How are you?
What's going on, Aaron? How you doing, brother?
I'm doing well, man. Thanks so much for making the time. I really appreciate it. Where are you down? Where are you now? Are you down home? Where are you?
I'm in Houston.
Oh, okay. Very good. Very good. How's Houston treating you?
It's good, man. The weather's still a little cool, so I'm good with that.
Yeah, before the summer kicks in. So hey, obviously, the big news this offseason is the trade of Aaron Rodgers. I'd love to get your perspective on it because you're on social media, but you're not really active especially about football stuff. And I would love to hear what kind of your vantage point was the whole kind of, clearly the end of the season. We spend all offseason wondering what's going to happen. Now we know he's traded to the Jets. Was it as weird for you as it was for us, like seeing him in a Jets gear and all that stuff? Or do you not really pay attention to it too much?
I think so. I think I feel the same way as everybody else. But at the same time, I kind of been in those shoes. So I understand, the feeling from both sides. But just like anybody else, man, it's the end of a great era, man. It's the end of a great era. And for me, it's a little skepticism because not a lot of organizations hit on quarterbacks back to back like that. So now we're talking about hitting 3 times in a row, man. That's skepticism. But what I'm saying, that's skepticism.
I get it. I get it.
At the same time, I believe that Jordan has the ability, has the talent. You have to be hopeful. Just from history, Aaron kind of came in the way Brett did, and then he's kind of going out the way Brett did. So you're hoping that Jordan is coming in the same way Aaron is. So everything is kind of adding up. So we hope that it hits off and we can officially name Green Bay the quarterback guru, because that rarely happens.
Like ever. I want to ask you about the Packers defense. Clearly, you know more ball than anybody here, all of us put together. I love this sentiment kind of forming around Packers fandom now that they've taken yet another first-round pick on the defensive side of the ball. Is this the case where, they've got, 6, 7 first-rounders now playing on defense? Is this a year where you're sitting there going, okay, Joe Barry has got to make this work, and they have got to be better, like right out of the gate? Because I think they certainly improved the end of last year, but it was tough to watch at times at the beginning.
Absolutely. It was tough at the beginning, but as you said, they kind of found the groove toward the end of the season. Obviously, they had some injuries, but I believe that they got the ability and the talent, as you said, on that defensive end to where they should be able to put together a really consistent, good season. And they're going to need that, and Jordan's going to need that. So yes, Joe is going to have to make sure that the defense is ready to go, and those guys are going to have to step up. Bottom line, I believe that they got what it takes, especially in the secondary. I know we're saying that they may need, some guys, especially at the safety position.
Right.
But I believe that we got some guys who can step in. I kind of been going through these things myself with the secondary. Man, I think at corner position we're really good. We're really good at the corner position, and I think we're deep to the point to where we can move some guys around at safety. That's what I believe. I believe, yeah, we can bring another safety in, but I believe some guys have shown that they can play that position. I believe Rudy Ford stepped in last year and looked really intelligent back there. So I believe that we got what it takes back there. We just have to be more consistent, and we have to start off at the beginning of the year and showcase that we can be a really good defense, period.
What take us through? This is something I know you obviously will know the intricacies of the position. When you look at a guy like you got Rasul Douglas, who just explodes on the scene 2 years ago, right? And then they start last year when they are kind of struggling a little bit, where he's playing inside. And then when he makes the switch, Stokes gets hurt and he has to play outside back to kind of, I think, his natural position. You saw his game clearly got somewhat better and more consistent.
Elevated.
What's so difficult about playing along the interior? Because I know you kind of moved around quite a bit when you were in Green Bay. Why is that so tough inside? What makes that so tricky and difficult?
So inside, you really have to understand the defense. You really have to be someone who knows exactly what everyone does on that defense. Corner position outside, you know what you got. You got your man. You don't have to really know exactly where everybody is, but the inside, you have to know where your help is coming from at all times. You have to know what everybody's doing. If you don't know that, it's going to be tough because it's so much space in the inside. The guy get to the outside, there's going to be a lot of space. If he gets to the inside and run across the field, it's going to be a lot of space. So if you don't understand that defense, it can be tough. Rasul is a instinctive guy. He plays well with his eyes to the ball. And that's one of the guys who I'm talking about. As I said, we're pretty deep at the safety position. At the corner position. I believe that with his instincts, he will be pretty good moving around at the safety position too. I believe so.
Yeah,
especially if you're not going.
We got a lot of questions about that.
Play him outside, especially if you're not going to play him outside.
How hard is it, in your mind, to make that switch to safety? Because that gets talked a lot in the media. Fans talk about it all the time. Oh, move him to safety. Just move him to safety. I can't imagine that it's just that easy. Like there's got to be some kind of challenge there, as far as if you're a corner and you've been playing using the sideline as your help and doing all these things technique wise, but then suddenly you're really out in space, for almost every play. That's got to be a tough kind of transition.
Well, for the safety position, is more of a mental challenge than a physical challenge. Corner is just hard, just because you got the best athletes out there. You got to cover every single play. From a safety perspective, is you have to be able to direct everybody on the defense. You have to be able to cover up the deep end. So from a coverage perspective, it's not that hard, but from a physical aspect of knowing where everybody's supposed to be, of calling the plays, of being a general of that defense, you have to be able to step up and know exactly what to do and exactly what everybody else has to do. So it's a different ball game back there, more than anything.
I got a question here in the chat. I think it's a pretty good one. Bourbon and Base, which is a great handle. Tremont was always incredible at playing with proper leverage, giving his help the ability to help. The question is, does that take special footwork, jamming? How do you always get in position?
I don't think it takes special footwork. It just takes being smart and just knowing exactly where your help is. That's just being a student of the game more than anything. As I said before, football I think is a thinkers man game, just like any sport. I believe that the ones who figure out the game, the earlier you figure out the game, the longer you'll play. And I think the smart players play a long time. That's what I believe. I believe the smart players play a long time. The guys who are very talented but never really figure it out, they may have a solid career, but they're probably not gonna play a long time.
Do you have any aspirations to coaching? I know, like after you retired, you're very much with your family and kind of getting away from it all. But like as your kids grow or something, like, and you find yourself maybe with some time, would that ever be something you'd be interested in?
I think so. I think I have a passion for it, especially with my kids right now. I'm actually coaching my kids in pretty much everything for football, basketball, and track. We are actually in
Right.
track season right now. Um, but my son, he loves football, and he's going to middle school football this year. So he's going from 6th grade to 7th grade. He's finished playing club
Oh, there you
football.
go.
So now, yeah. So now he's going to middle school football, and the word out here in middle school football is not that great a coaching. So I want to make sure I got my hands on it. Yeah, I want to make sure I got my hands on it from that aspect of it. So yeah, I do have aspirations to coach. I get a chance to coach my son, but I also get a chance to coach other kids also, and I'm good at it. I'll say that I'm good at it. The kids gravitate to me, they listen to me, and it could be a possibility in the future.
I love it. I love it. Do you ever? How do you keep up with the guys at all? Like any of your old teammates? I know, like once you're out of the league, it's you're with your family and you're living your life. But do you catch up with those guys at all?
I do. I do. As much as I can. I mean, obviously everyone has their village who they play with, the guys who they gravitated to. And I continue to communicate with most of those guys all the time. I always make sure I check in on Nick Collins. He's one of my good friends. We always talking. We always trying to get together. C. Wood, Morgan Burnett. So my whole secondary crew, I always check in on them, and we try to get up and catch a vacation or do something together. So it's something that that you gravitate to once you retire. Like you just remember all of those memories, and you try to keep those relationships tight.
I love it. I love it. This year is going to be a lot of fun with the start of the Jordan Love era. Hopefully, I know you had texted or tweeted Corey about coming over to the house last year. We got to get you over there this year, man. When you come up for a game,
I know.
just let us know.
Most definitely. I'm definitely going to get out there this year. I'm gonna have to look at the schedule and see what games I'm gonna get out to, and I'm gonna come hang out with you guys, man.
There you go. There you go. It's got to happen. I mean, it's been like we've known each other now for all these years, and we've never hung. So it's got to happen. We got to do it. We got to get you over there.
Absolutely.
It'll be great. Tremont Williams, the man, the myth, the legend. Tremont, thank you so much for even a little bit of your time tonight, man. Packers fans worldwide really appreciate it.
I appreciate it, Aaron. Anytime, man.
Have a great night, dude.
You too, brother.
There you go, Tremont Williams, hanging out, doing the thing he does. Man, that's just fucking awesome. That's Tremont Williams, just hanging out. More importantly, Oz is here. I mean, this is what really needs to happen. We need to talk to Oz. Oz, are you awake? What's going on, buddy? How you living?
I'm just getting you there. Yeah, I'm just getting my Commodore
I got you.
64 fired up here.
Oh, phenomenal.
Trying to
Phenomenal.
get
I'm just
fucking
happy you're awake.
ESPN on my TV, and it's not working.
Well, okay, don't let me interrupt you. Don't let me interrupt you.
No,
Just do what
fuck. I got all
do what
night
you're
to
doing.
get this fucker. So what are you up to
There you go.
anyway?
You know, but
I
watching
missed
people
the
watching
first
people
and
get
last two
upset.
fucking draft picks. They started an hour early on me.
Yeah,
8 and 7.
Oz, it's
Oh,
7
wasn't-
o'clock on
wasn't
Friday
draft
night.
going
7 o'clock on Friday night.
back.
8 o'clock on Thursday night.
Oh well, I missed all the fun.
You did, but hey, I like the picks. That's the thing.
Yes,
You know,
yes,
they got pass catchers for
absolutely.
Jordan Love.
Yes, I like that tight end. Oof.
Yes.
Where's he out of Oregon State?
Hold on.
No,
I
it was
believe
at the
so,
receiver.
yes. No, the receiver's out of Michigan State.
Okay.
Hold on, sorry. I got a million people.
Oregon,
me up
Oregon
suddenly.
State, Oz, Oregon State.
Yeah.
His
Oregon
family is Oregon royalty, but he spurned them for the Beavers.
He's
Oh boy. Rocky Mountain Fly, thanks for the super chat. Shout out Nick Collins. That's pick 6 in the Super Bowl 45 was insane right after the offense had scored. It's awesome. He is awesome. Tremont is the absolute man. Doug, what's up, man? How you living?
Yo, I just wanted to say a shout out to Tremont. He was like one of my heroes. Like when I was young, I played cornerback and safety. And like, he's one of those guys that kind of came up and became a big deal. Like, he wasn't expected to be a superstar and became one. And it's funny because we look at the safeties we got right now. You guys kind of went over that. But, Darnell Savage is only 25. Rudy Ford's like 28 or something. And, maybe Savage just needs a little bit more time at that safety position to really get the mental part of the game down, right? Like, that's my people.
Well, he's got 1 year left to do it. Yeah, he's young, but I mean, and he's gone through a scheme change, and I get that, but at some point, you can't keep blowing assignments. That's the problem. It's like, I understand that there's a learning curve, but you're 4 years in the league. It's like it's time to ascend. Michael, what's going on, man?
There we go. Just had to unmute. No, just wanted to say that I actually really like our picks. I mean, mine were Darnell Washington and Jalen Hyatt. But I tell you what, with Musgrave, if he stays healthy, he's going to be killer at tight end. And with Reed, I think we kind of got kind of the same kind of thing that you would get with Hyatt. I mean, I really like Joseph's comment on him, from the Senior Bowl. He's got speed for days, separates from guys. So even though it wasn't the two guys I was thinking, I'm like, I really like it for what they're doing. Also, on a side note, I can't take credit for it. I can't remember who it was, but heard a great name for a T-shirt for our first pick, and I heard somebody calling the Ness Monster.
There you go. There you go. That works.
But trading after we got our tight end and then trading back twice to still get what we got and
I love it.
More picks.
Yep.
I mean, I know in the end, Goody's going to be probably judged on what Jordan does. But during the draft and, just acquiring talent, I personally think he does a great job.
I agree with you. I think he doesn't get nearly enough credit and gets way too much hate. I'm with you on that one. Couldn't agree more. Jonathan, thanks for the super chat. Tremont's pick 6 in the 2010 divisional round was chef's kiss. Could not agree more. Very, very true. I understand that people are going to be, judgmental about who they selected, but they got exactly what Packers fans have been clamoring for. They needed a tight end. They needed a wide receiver. They got both. Just because it's not the dude you would have picked or the name you've heard of doesn't mean anything. It literally means less than nothing. I'm just excited. I'm excited to watch these guys grow with the guys they selected last year. I'm all in, baby. I love it. And I'm really intrigued by Reed. Everything I've heard Joseph say and some of the stuff I've read tonight. Again, they love those Senior Bowl performers. Dudes who stand out at the Senior Bowl are often on the Packers' radar. This clearly is not a big, huge surprise. Sean, what's up, man?
So I was gonna say one of my favorite Tremont Williams memories is the wild card in 2010. I was watching that game with a bunch of Eagles fans and
Oh,
watching
no.
that interception at the end of the game to seal that game. I'll never forget that too, watching that with a bunch of Eagles fans because they thought they had that game
That's
in the
awesome.
bag going into it. Because I actually
Yeah.
met Jaws for the first time before that game too.
Oh, really?
John Jaworski. Yeah.
Yeah, where'd you meet him?
At a township event. He
Oh,
lived in
okay.
Gulf
Okay, big time.
town I lived in at the time.
All right. You're just
And,
rubbing shoulders with the hoi polloi over there. I get it.
I actually met John Runyon too. His John Runyon Jr.'s dad.
Yeah.
A few
Oh, there
times.
you go. That's what I mean.
Watched I gotta say one thing I really think I think the Packers can really surprise this year, especially if I think Jordan Love can really be solid. Like I was at that game in Philly, just watching him, the way he's progressed. It is kind of somewhat reminiscent, kind of eerily of Aaron. The way
Agreed.
Aaron came in kind of sloppy and choppy and herky jerky and kind of developed as the years progressed. I really kind of see that a lot with Jordan as well. I'm not going to necessarily sit here and tell you that he's the next Aaron, but just the way he's developed. If these young guns come up especially with a third place schedule, I really think the Packers can come out and surprise, especially with the way the NFC is shaped up.
I think there's a chance. Yeah. I mean, I try not to get too far ahead of it. There's definitely a chance for them to surprise people. A lot has to coalesce, and of course, the biggest piece of that is Jordan continuing to develop. But that's why we're going to watch the games. Can't wait. Nicole, I'm sorry, you said somebody else had their hand up? I missed it. Soder. What's up, Soder?
I found it interesting that Tremont talked about it's the smart players that have the long careers. And especially coming from a guy who came in as a practice squad player and elevated his way up every year and took advantage of all those injuries to kind of move his way into the starting lineup, and then you couldn't just get him out of it. And I think there is kind of that cultural overlay in Green Bay where they want that particular attitude. Doesn't always hit, but I think they're kind of always looking for the smart player over the flash. And maybe that's a cultural that they need to make work. But
right,
that was an interesting quote from him.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny you say that because it's like something that it's hard to quantify, right? And it's hard to put your finger on it, but you kind of know it when you look at the Packers and you hear the guys talk and you see their kind of their community, their culture, you know, the locker room or what have you. It does seem to be not the same type of guy, but a guy who is probably pretty football smart and obviously passionate about the game and is kind of just, there's a singular focus there more often than not every single time, but more often than not. I got somebody in the chat. Johnny asked, is Tom Clemens still with the Packers? Yes, he is. He is on the staff. He will be continuing to work with Jordan. And you have to think, given the progress we saw last year, hopefully that will continue. It's good stuff. What studs are we getting in the fifth? I don't know. Michael, what's up?
Had to unmute there. This question actually goes to you and really to Joseph. Once we get to, I believe it's pick 78 that we have coming up.
Yep.
It seems to me like there's still a lot of really good tight end talent left on the board. What do you think the possibilities are of us doubling up as thin?
Doubling up.
I know we got our tight end, but as thin as our room was, and it seems to be that there's still quite a bit of talent out there. What do you think about the possibility of them doubling up?
1,000% chance. Like I'll be shocked if they don't take, maybe not at 78, but at least one more in this draft, I would suspect. Joseph, who do you have an eye on? Who might be available? What are your thoughts on another tight end going to Green Bay?
Most definitely, I think so. Maybe not tonight, but definitely day 3. I think Darnell Washington, I know we talked about him. I think he's falling because of his interviews. There were rumors of him being possibly lazy and undisciplined. So maybe the league is like, hey, yeah, you're big, you're fast, you're strong, but maybe they want to wait till day 3 to maybe make that investment. I mean, obviously Green Bay's had its issue with that when we took Eddie Lacy. So maybe Green Bay's out, even though
Right.
they did bring him in for a top 30 visit. Maybe they weren't impressed. But if we go into day 3, you've got Will Mallory out of Miami. I don't think people give Will his due justice. He was the fastest tight end at the combine, and nobody said anything about it. They just whatever. and he has production for 2-3 years. I mean, he's not magical, but and he could be another case of Miami didn't have great quarterbacks, and maybe with the right quarterback, maybe he goes to another level. Zach Kuntz is there with that 6'8" wingspan, and he was the second fastest tight end in the combine. And then Tucker Kraft is still there, who comes from Dallas Goedert's alma mater in South Dakota State. He's still there. It's anybody's guess. I really think possibly defense with some of these defensive line guys falling, but if the Packers really love one of those tight ends, I could definitely see them going there. But I think with the safety class starting to come off, and then the defensive line, some good guys there, I think they're going to probably go here because there's still plenty of very good tight ends that can be that number 2 guy on day 3.
Right. Oh man, the Cowboys took Schoonmaker. I like him a lot. The Michigan tight end. So much for that. Bears and Cowboys getting my dudes. I'm sorry, Nicole. What did you say? I missed you. Luis, what's going on, man?
Hi, Aaron. Hi, everyone. A quick question for Joseph. I know you just touched on Washington's fall, but Keely Ringo is also falling, both Bulldogs. Do you have something in mind why they're falling that much?
So Kelly Ringo is he's a cornerback. He's built like a linebacker, and he had a pretty good year for Georgia, but his instincts are not elite for a corner. The athleticism is there, and going right back to what Tremont said, the smartest players last the longest. You can be big, you can be fast. I mean, hell, I ran 4.4 as a high school senior, and look at me, I'm chatting with you guys. You got to be a smart player. I think Kelly's a perfect candidate, for a conversion to safety where the instincts don't have to be nearly as pinpoint. And then, like I said, he's got size to him. He can tackle. He's actually an above plus tackler. He can lower the boom on guys. So I think for a strong safety candidate, possibly even a free safety candidate, because the speed is definitely there. There's not a receiver in this class I think that can outrun him. So for this safety class that is underwhelming, I have him on my board as a safety. I think the number 3 safety on my board. I see his name being called sometime today. It's just if they like the instincts and if they see him as a conversion to safety, they see him purely as a corner. If he's just purely a corner on a team's board, he's going to continue to slide.
I love every once in a while I just got to pause and look at the chat and be like, what planet are people on? Norm's sitting here going, where's the draft coverage? I'm out. We literally just talked for like 5 minutes about prospects in the draft. Like, I don't understand what people expect. Do you want us to show the draft? That's on ESPN or NFL Network. This is a second screen experience. Welcome to 2023. Get out of the basement. That's all I can ask. I love all these names being bandied about. Truffle Shuffle talking about Sidney Brown. I like his game. Jordan Battle at 78. Jake, I think that's a fun idea. If Washington makes it to 78 because of medicals, I'd just do it. Nothing to lose drafting in the 3rd round. I mean, the Packers in the 3rd round. It's a bugaboo. So we'll see what happens when the Packers are on the clock again later tonight. Michael, hand back up. What's up, buddy?
Actually, this is for Joseph. And now that he has now that he has told us that he ran a 4.4, I just want to know if he might possibly still be available for us. You know, I mean, Joseph, maybe not the third round, but if we can get you in the fourth or fifth round, are you still good to go?
Even in the military and working out every day, my 4.4 days are over. On a good day, you might get a 4.65, and then doing my own scouting report. My instincts weren't that great either. I was like that tight end guy, just guard him. But I was never a single high guy. I was a 2 high guy. And I was not the best tackler. I'm a Packers guy because I don't tackle. I'll drop a shoulder. If he falls down, great. If he doesn't, linebackers, I slowed him down. Like, what are you doing? Get the guy down on the ground. I bumped him. Like, so that's my scouting report for me.
Love it. Love it. Justin, thanks to the super chat. Rodgers probably upgrades with Tippmann over Myers. It's possible, no doubt. And then Rocky, thanks to the super chat. Guys like Darren Sproles prove Tremont's point. It's a good pull, no doubt about it. Just want to make sure I didn't miss anything here. I got that. Got all the super chats. All right, cool. So where are we at? The Bengals, I think, have made their pick. The Bengals took DJ Turner. And the Jacksonville Jaguars are on the clock. So we're 2 picks away from the end of the second round. And then we'll flip to the third round, and the Packers have 1 selection. Yes, Steve, that's right. Wes Hodquist put out there that, and the Packers had Jaden Reed's number 1. And Wes says Jaden Reed will be the first Packers player to wear number 1 in the regular season since Curly Lambeau in 1926. How about that? I love a number 1. I'm down with that. I'm surprised that, when the NFL made 0 available, a number of guys across the league, teams had tweeted out that guys were changing their jerseys. Nobody on the Packers has gone for 0 yet, which I completely understand. Soder, what's up, man?
I just wanted to note that Mr. Butler looked extremely sharp in his Hall of Fame jacket, which was probably about 5 years late.
Probably. No question about it.
Well, it was, but you have to caveat it.
Got to play the game. Unfortunately. All right. So what else we got here? He needs to change his name to Lambo. I don't think that's going to happen. What else we got? Oh, we got Bourbon and Base. I would be fine with Washington in the third. I am sure two tight end sets could work to help protect J Love and enhance the running game. Totally agree. And that's the thing. When we're talking about, doubling up at the position, whether it's Washington or someone else, the amount of flexibility it gives you and your ability as a game planner and trying to construct mismatches and attacking things. Man, I love the idea of getting multiple tight ends out there. It's not something that they've done a whole ton of, but they've done some. And I'd love to keep going exploring that road. Abdul, thanks to Super Chat. Is Reed a slot or boundary receiver? Do you see him starting over Dobbs? I think it's going to be fascinating to watch him in camp and competing, but I don't know that anybody's going to be handed a starting role over anybody. It's just about who makes the most day in and day out. These are all really young guys. From what I've read and what I've heard, and Joseph can correct me if I'm wrong, but he's mostly been a slot guy. But who knows? The Packers want to move these guys all over the place, and it's all dependent on them and how much they can handle. We heard from Matt last summer when he was talking about Dobbs and his ability to kind of move across the formation and do everything. We know Watson did that all throughout the season. They basically started putting him everywhere in an attempt to get him away and, make it tougher for defenses to focus on him. He's that true home run threat. Starting jobs, who knows, man? We're so far away from that right now. These are, like I said, lots of young guys trying to get better every day, competing against each other. Is it possible? Yeah, but I think we're a long way away from that. Dag, thanks to the super chat. Looks like the NFL teams had Washington way lower on their board. Not surprised, though. I mean, it's possible. Like Joseph was intimating, who knows what happens in those interviews? They're always privy to medical stuff that we are not. Even with all the reporting around the draft, everything that gets written about each and every one of these prospects, we still don't really know what the teams know. So, yeah, there's definitely something there that's keeping teams away. There's no doubt about that. Rob, thanks for the super chat. So technically, we got a number 1 wide receiver. Hello. Rob's here all night. Tip your waitress. Try the beer. Eric, thanks to the super chat. Breer said there's medical issues with Washington. There you go. That would make sense. Richard Hansen, thank you for the super chat. Our history of third round picks hasn't been good lately. This is the year we reverse the trend. Okay, from your super chat to the football god's ears. Here's hoping. Joseph, what you got for me? Oh, you're muted. You're muted, buddy.
Sorry. Going back to the Abdullah who asked if Reed's a slot or an outside guy. Yeah, at Michigan State, he was mostly a slot guy. He did move around a lot. However, what I want to point out is at the Senior Bowl, he was exclusively outside. And I think that's what raised his value, is that he was exclusively at the X position. So,
interesting.
And that's the danger of being labeled, purely a slot guy, is that then guys start to limit what they think you can do, limit the projection. And typically, even though a slot receiver is starting wide receiver in today's NFL, the X guy is always on the field, whether it's goal line, whether it's 3rd and 45, the X guy is always going to be on the field. And Reed lined up exclusively at X at the Senior Bowl, and that's probably what raised his value tremendously in the eyes of at least the Packers, to say that.
Yeah, and Joseph makes a good point in the chat, wondering if Reed can resurrect the Tyler Ervin gadget plays. I don't know if it's so much gadget plays, but the motion and all the stuff they do off of it kind of disappeared, especially the last few years with Aaron, not famously, very publicly saying he didn't like all that motion. I think this is a very good chance that you're going to see him used not only like that, but just getting him out in space, getting the ball in his hand. But yeah, I think 100% you're going to see him probably running back and forth quite a little bit before the snap of the football. I do not doubt for a moment that they will at least look at that. I don't know if that's like, this is why they drafted him, but that's certainly an aspect that I would suspect they're probably going to utilize him for.
I would definitely agree. And like, I think whoever wrote the scouting report on, I can't think of the writer for the draft guy for Reed, but he is confident in his speed. Like, he's one of those guys, like, right, I'm the fastest guy on the field, just try and keep up. So on a toss sweep, on a jet sweep motion, whatever the case may be, if he gets the ball, he's looking to take it to the house. And I mean, celebrations are, here or there, but he's going to taunt some guys if he runs by. He's going to do that. He picked number 1 because he thinks he's number 1. Like, and that attitude, you love to see it.
Love it. Absolutely love it. Yes. That belief, the confidence, all of it. Kenny has a super chat here. Why haven't the Packers drafted a wide receiver since, I think you mean a first round wide receiver, since 2002? Man, it's just not a premium position in Green Bay, and they can do so well in the second round. They want other players first, usually, almost always, but that's typically the shortest answer. Zane, sorry, I missed your super chat. Is Jordan Battle still on the board? I feel like he could be a good safety. I don't know if he's still on the board. We were talking to Tremont. I kind of lost track of who was being taken. I think so.
Jordan Battle is still
What's the word on Jordan Battle? What's the word on him, Joseph?
But Jordan also tested bad. He has a 5.9 RAS. I'm going to say the Packers are out. So far, and we have a very small sample size, but Brian Gutekunst's threshold is 8.8. And we, on my board at least, I can't say what the Packers have, what he has in the war room, but I have one. Quan Martin's gone. Julius Brents, who I think was a conversion project, he's gone. I don't like Riley Moss as a corner. I like him as a safety. He's there, but he's probably later on tonight. But outside of Sidney Brown and Daniel Scott, who is probably late tomorrow, maybe 5th round, along with Jason Taylor the second. You don't have anybody in this safety class with that threshold. Amari Burney from Florida, but he was a backup. He's probably a 6th round guy. Amir Speed out of Michigan State. Amir Speed out of Michigan State, and he's probably a 6th, 7th round guy.
I like it. I love. There's someone in the chat talking about how the Packers are ruined for decades. That's hilarious, man. Bars are open. I love it. Soda, what's up, man?
This is a question for Joseph, really. Is it hard to evaluate Alabama guys because they're surrounded by these ultra 5-star people who are just, they just overwhelm teams, and that you can get away with kind of some lesser talent and maybe on the back end?
I don't think so, because it's just the SEC, and maybe I'm being a homer for the SEC right now, but I mean, they've been the best conference for quite some time, and it's not hard to evaluate, a loaded team when they're going up against loaded teams. It's not hard to evaluate Brian Branch when the guy on the other side of the field is Anthony Richardson. It's not hard to make those evaluations. It's NFL junior in the SEC, so I don't really have an issue. Really, it's easier really to actually scout them for me, because it's like, okay, like this guy, he does this, he does that. How do you do? How do you do against the best of the best? Some of these guys, they get knocked because and maybe why Tucker Kraft, for an example, is falling, is because he's an FCS guy. He's only seen top flight competition maybe 3 times in his career at South Dakota State. So I think it's easier, really, because you're seeing guys going up against NFL talent. That's really the point of the All-Star cycle, is you take guys who maybe are FCS Division II. How do you go up against guys who we see as NFL prospects, or future NFL prospects, as freshmen? You think about the Elite 11 quarterbacks, like Sean Clifford. He was at the Elite 11 as a high school. How do you measure up guys who've been pretty much knighted as NFL stars the moment they leave high school and when they walk across the stage?
Second question for you then is, towards the end of the draft, you got guys like, there's that safety out of Iowa State, guy out of Minnesota, and a guy out of Houston, who really have good raw athletic scores. Are those more viable guys towards the back end, where you're just going to take some flyers and see if they hit?
Oops, muted myself again. You talking about Anthony Johnson Jr. out of Iowa State? I love him. He came on late. He was a corner, moved to safety, showed some promise. The ball production is there. It all just really depends on the projection, really, at that point. I mean, worst case, you got a good corner. I mean, that's a great consolation prize. He has the size. I believe he's 6'2", 211. Don't quote me on that. But yeah, Johnson Jr. is a guy that you might see. I think he's a little bit under the RAS, going back to the 880.
I think he's like an 8.5 or something like that.
8.13. So he's not too far away. Trey Dean III is also not too far away. He has the production. He could be in play on day 3. But those guys that are just there on the cusp, I think it's really just depends on the war room and how they feel about them long term.
Love it. We are officially in the 3rd round, ladies and gentlemen. We are officially in the 3rd round. Bears are on the clock. God help us all, because they still suck. Truffle Shuffle, what's up? Would love Joseph's thoughts on running back Akane. Feel we need another electric back should something happen to Aaron Jones. Do you know who Truffle Shuffle's talking about there, Joseph?
Devin Akane out of Texas A&M. Shorter back. I think he's only 5'8" or 5'9", but he is speedy. He's got a little shiftiness to him. I just don't know. We don't know, what Matt LaFleur really likes. Obviously, Aaron Jones wasn't his guy.
Right.
AJ was. So that's really all we got to go on, honestly. I mean, Tyler Goodson and oh, he's eluding me around. Taylor. I'm thinking his
Patrick
thinking of his
Taylor.
first name
Yeah.
right now. Patrick Taylor, yes. They're not big backs, they're not small backs either. Mostly plus athletes, but not elite athletes. So he probably had a say in them being retained on the roster. So I'm not for sure. He's on my board. They did see Miller out of TCU, so maybe, but I don't see him day 2. It's like more of a day 3 kind of guy. Because when you get a small running back like that, you've got a defined role for them in the offense, and it's kind of limited. So maybe tomorrow, but I just can't see it today.
I want to hit up. I know we got to get to Corey in a second, but I want to hit up Carl's super chat here. With all the talent now on defense, does Barry coach a complete season if they continue to remain inconsistent or underperform? Most likely, I think it would really have to fall apart in a bad way for Matt to make an in-season move. Never say never, but I tend to doubt it. I think he'd probably stick with him come hell or high water and then make the move at the end of the season. But of course, that's literally just my guessing game right there. We have Corey, I believe, hanging out. What's up, Corey?
Hey.
How are you, man?
Hey, Nags, I hate to do this to Olive, but now that you got the girlfriend, the girls are getting older. Don't do the puppy, dude. Don't do the puppy. We're taking care of 2 dogs this summer while my son's in a graduate school thing for freaking opera in upstate New York. Don't do it, dude. Just don't. You got a life now. Don't do the puppy, man. Hey,
Tell me about it.
I gotta
No.
know what we can afford, but who is your quarterback crush? So I've had a couple, but the guy who came through Minnesota and crushed his knee, that's if we have free agency, but we can't afford anything. So like, who is, we got to have a third quarterback. And I got to call out Big B real quick. As a fellow Youper, he's been talking about this guy from Northern Michigan University, right? And Big B, it's a great night to be a Wildcat, dude. So Big B's talking about that we're going to get this Wildcat in the 7th. So I want to know if you got a quarterback crush, man, who is it? And Big B's, we're going for a Northern Michigan University Wildcat, and I think 6 or 7, man.
I love it. I love it. I love the guy from TCU. I can't remember his name off the top of my head, but I love his game. That cat, he is not afraid. He is fearless. And I know he's probably going to go day 3, but he's the guy I really like. I don't know if the Packers would take him, but I really like him. Michael, what's up,
Thanks,
man?
Unmuted. This is probably for you and Joseph again, but with the I know our safety shelf is pretty thin, but it just seems like that we would be maybe reaching for somebody. Right now, I know next year the safety draft is supposed to be strong, but what do you think about, in fact, maybe taking somebody tomorrow that's maybe a project, and after the draft is over, if Amos is still out there, bringing him back for a year or 2 just for like a stopgap?
I think there's a possibility, but it's always like, if that was the case or if that was the plan, couldn't they have just kept him around instead of having that deal void? And now they're paying him regardless, even if he doesn't come back. I think, yeah, is there a possibility? Sure, but I think they're trying to get younger. They're resetting as much of the roster as they can, and they'll find somebody. I mean, look, you can't fill every hole. You can't, get every need taken care of in every draft. But, they did bring in the guy from the 49ers. They do have Rudy Ford back, so they'll undoubtedly patch something together back there. But, I don't, to your point, there's a much better safety class coming next year, supposedly. We'll see how much that sticks. But, yeah, I think, could they call Amos? Yeah, it's a possibility. I don't think it's likely, though. I'd be surprised. We have Doug. What's up, Doug?
Yo, I was just listening to Musgrave talk to the press corps and everything, and he had some cool things I wanted to bring up. He's a huge Packer fan apparently, and he describes the Packers as a team of deep history and one of the OG teams, and that they're a hard-nosed football team. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, yes, this is the thing. We're drafting guys with this mentality. They want to play football. They want to be in Green Bay, and they want to be part of like this culture we have that's built around football, right? He also talked about how he was kind of upset he didn't get to show off his blocking skills when he was injured this last year. So he, in his mind, I think he's a confident blocker. He also is a good special teamer. He blocked a punt, I believe, last year and or the year before. And he talked a lot about how special teamers, like tight ends, are great for special teams, the length and everything. So in my mind, and like not only that, it's not terrible that we're building like Team Thirst Trap right now. We got a Thirst Trap head coach, we got a Thirst Trap tight end, and a Thirst Trap defensive end. So, you know, we're checking a lot of boxes that people might not normally think about, right? So, you know, they're kind of zigging when everyone else zags a little bit. And if you watch the tape, bro, he's got also that word I like to use, separation. The guy has the speed and athleticism, the things that we might have been like lacking in the past. So right now I'm feeling 1989 Packers vibes a little bit, baby. You know, that team went 10-6 out of nowhere. Maybe we could hit some people the other way and like make some noise happen, you know, like maybe we could do
I love it. I love it. Yeah, it's a possibility. I also just found out today is Jaden Reed's birthday. How about that action? Happy birthday, Jaden Reed. You're a Green Bay Packer. That's pretty great. I got a couple super chats here. I want to make sure I don't miss them. I got the Well Hungarian, which is just a great name. Nags, hands down, Cheesehead TV, best Packers draft coverage. That's really kind of you to say. There's a ton of really great draft coverage all throughout the internet. Just a little corner of our world here. He also asks over under 7.5 wins. Woo, baby. Give me over just. I'll go with 8. 8 wins. That's where I'm starting right now. We will see.
Over big time.
Over big time, says Oz. Oz is awake. That's always a good start.
Yeah, I'm with Oz on that.
I mean, look,
Oz
hey,
is lucky to
look,
pick early in the rounds.
I 100% want them to. What did you say, Joey?
Just Oz is lucky we pick early in the rounds this year. Gutekunst was said
Exactly. Doesn't have to wait as long.
by keep trading back.
Exactly.
Remember that, Joey.
It's a game of endurance. Tomorrow is the real challenge. Tomorrow is the real challenge. Although with all these extra picks, there's actually going to be like dudes to talk about and stuff going on.
Yes.
So
my
you
dad.
know, Oz should be.
Hey, Joe.
Oh, you muted yourself, Oz.
I said, no, you come back tomorrow when you can hang with the big dogs.
Okay, I'm ready for it. My dad, he went to bed after our second pick. That was enough for him.
That was enough, huh? He's not going to tough it out to pick 78.
He didn't know. Been a long 2 days.
Yeah, no doubt. No question about it. Happy birthday, Jaden Reed. That's awesome. Okay, so what else we got here? We got
He's also a Bear fan.
Oh,
let me say, born in Chicago. Okay, so.
Well, there you go.
Not sure.
There you go.
You couldn't help it. He's born there.
Yeah.
Are there any more Lukes we can draft? I love it. James Ox is in here just being all doom and gloom. Everyone here is going to be agreeing with me when the Bears beat us twice next year. Everyone's going to want Goot fired. Man, everybody already wants Goot fired. Is this your first day on the internet? Man, doom and gloom all you want, dude. This is what we're talking about when we say they're going to surprise some people, including you. Man, negative Nelly over here. Good Lord. Soder, what's up, man?
You got to go to Adam. It's 3:20 in Sweden, for God's sakes. You need to ask him some questions.
Adam, what's up, man? How you doing? Do we have Adam? Is he there? Guess not.
All right, can you hear me now?
Well, there's Adam.
Yeah.
I got you, buddy.
Sorry.
How are you?
I'm very tired. Full week of
I'll
work,
bet.
and,
Nice shirt.
Yeah, Zach Tom Bombadil. So, yeah.
Love it.
But it's great. It's a fun party. I'm just hoping they don't trade back in the third.
Right? We get this pick in. What time is it there?
It's 3:25 a.m.
Man, you talk about Die Hard. That's Die Hard, man. You could read about it on the internet tomorrow.
Yeah, but it's so much fun to be here live. I always watch the replays normally. I've only been here for the day 3 day on the draft.
Oh,
because
right.
fits better with my time zone. But this
Sure.
time the wife is out of town and the kids are in bed, so I thought I stay up for once.
Well, we're here for you, man. We're here for you. Wait, so how did you become a Packers fan across the pond there? How did your fandom come about?
Yeah, to be honest, it's I watched Rodgers around 2012, and he was like a magician. So I fell in love with him first, and then the team, and now I'm over Rodgers, but I'm still with the team.
I love it. Well, dude, that's great, and thanks so much for hanging out with us, man. Thanks, brother.
Thanks. And thanks.
I'm disappointed he didn't say that Soder was a Packers fan, because he's my people right there, man.
Oh man, what is going on with Andy Herman? Is that Andy Herman? What's going on, Andy? Oh, you muted.
Not how I wanted to make an entrance. How's it going?
Oh, it's going well. What is the hat? What you got there?
It's much larger than a normal hat. Out of backstage.
I love it. It's outstanding. Okay, so give me the lowdown here. What's the Andy Herman thought on day 2 of the NFL draft here for the Green Bay Packers?
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm very excited. I mean, I'm sure everyone is excited. Nobody's upset about anything. I haven't.
No, not at all. Not at all.
Everyone's happy.
James is here talking about how they're going to suck now. So, it doesn't matter who they pick.
I like it. There you go. But no, I mean, you get a big tight end that can, attack the seam, attack, from the slot, and attack in a variety of different ways. Red zone threat, speed, run after the catch. Like, what more do you want there? I know he didn't have the production and everything, but like, man, he's a really fun player. And then you come back with a different type of flavor wide receiver than what they have on the roster. You've got your Christian Watson, your big playmaker on the outside, your Romeo Doubs, more of your overall, kind of little do everything sort of wide receiver. Now you get sort of a slot run after the catch guy, 4.45 40. I'm all for it. I'm excited.
I love it.
How'd you feel?
Well, you see, but this is I love it because like we all were clamoring for pass catchers, and they actually went and got pass catchers. Like I was Andy, I'm telling you, I was so ready, especially when they started trading down. I was like, okay, they're going to go like defensive tackle or they're going to get a corner. Like I thought for sure like that was going to be, and I was ready for like people to be upset because of that. But then they got 2 pass catchers and people are still upset. I can't, Andy. I can't.
I won't speak for anyone else, but I've been clamoring for playmakers. Like I just want somebody that can run after the catch and can attack the seam,
right,
and can just get explosive plays. Jaden Reed, that's all he did the last 2 seasons was catch 20+ yard passes. Like he's a playmaker. And Luke Musgrave, big, tall wide receiver who can separate. I'm all for it. Like they got guys who can run after the catch that can make big plays. I'm super excited about it.
Well, and we were talking to Joseph. I love the fact that Reed like got to play on the boundary at the Senior Bowl, and the fact that he looked good at the Senior Bowl is like that's so Packers. It's 100%. They love when guys show up at that game or that week of practice. They absolutely fall in love. I don't think there's any difference there. Given where we're at now, we're on pick 69 right now with the Rams. Packers pick at 78. How do you think third round goes? What do you think? Now, because this is the bugaboo round. This is the round that they haven't got right in over a decade, pretty much. So what do you think happens here with pick 78?
I think the really cool thing about the NFL draft is that no matter where players are selected, whether it's the first round, the 7th round, literally everyone has the opportunity for success unless they're drafted in the 3rd round by the Green Bay Packers, in which case they're absolutely effed. So I feel sorry for the poor sap who gets picked there. They should just have the pick stripped away every single year. So I think the obvious answer is it just doesn't matter at this point. But no, I mean, the obvious needs are still there, right? Like they could easily take a safety. They could go grab another tight end. They could easily take another wide receiver. I really like, I've just got done recording. So there could have been guys that are taken, but Israel Abanikanya or whatever his name, like he's so freaking fun out of University of Pittsburgh. Got a lot of Amon Green to him. So 3rd round pick running back. I know maybe not everyone's cup of tea, but hey, let's go get one more playmaker. I'd be all for it. Abanikanya.
I got a super chat here with a question for you, because it's definitely not for me. Do you have Musgrave or Reed pro comps for either of these guys? Do you have pro comparisons? I know we have some in the draft guide, but are there any guys that stick out to you?
One off the top of my head for Jaden Reed, but Luke Musgrave, I absolutely do. So I had the high ceiling, like if he reaches his insane, and I know people maybe aren't going to like this name for his time in Green Bay, but think back the Saints, like super high ceiling, if everything hits, is like peak Jimmy Graham. Like I really think that there's some of that. I think the logical comp is Dallas Goedert, Philadelphia tight end. I see a lot of similarities in his game. And then Daniel Bellinger, the tight end for the New York Giants last year. Like if he just ends up kind of okay, maybe things don't hit quite the same. I think Daniel Bellinger is kind of like the tight end that he could still become, still a pass catching weapon. Maybe not a guy that's gonna, freak every defensive coordinator out or whatever, but still like a nice piece. Like he's going to find a way to contribute. He's a better blocker than I first gave him credit for in my first run through on tape. So yeah, I think those are some comps depending on, just how much of his ceiling he hits.
And also, I haven't talked to you. What did you think of the Van Ness pick? I know, like, obviously it's like super duper Packers. Like it's the most Packers pick I think you could ever materialize. But what was your initial thought? And after a day of thinking about it, what do you think?
Yeah, you and I just talked about it obviously earlier this week. He's the ultimate Green Bay Packers selection at that point in the draft. I love them attacking the edge rusher position. I think they would have been like, imagine they go the other way around, right? Like, was there an edge rusher even like taken in like 2nd round? Like I'd have to look back at it, but not many.
There were defensive tackles, but I don't remember a lot of edges going.
No, right. So like they all went end of round 1. Like if Green Bay went tight end, like if they would have reached for a Kincaid at pick 13 and then try to take an edge in round 2, it would have been an absolute nightmare. And instead they get Musgrave in 2 and they still get, they still get Lucas Van Ness in round 1. I love the way they kind of let things play out and stuck to their philosophy. I think he's a perfect fit opposite Rashawn Gary long-term, with Kingsley and Igbare acting as the rotational 3rd. I think those 3 fit together extremely well for the next, hopefully insane foreseeable future. And it's very Rashawn Gary-esque, right? Like this is a super talented Big Ten edge rusher who's a bit raw, who like has everything you can't teach. And the only thing that he needs a little refinement on are the things that you can teach. And it should give Packer fans a lot of hope. And I know Mike Smith, the guy that did a lot with Rashawn Gary, isn't here anymore, but it should still give fans a lot of hope that like basically just follow the same regiment that Rashawn Gary went through. And you're going to end up with another super stud edge rusher on the outside. I'd love the pick.
Yeah, and it is interesting. The one kind of thing that happens when you make that comparison, Rashawn had the luxury of being able to wait, right? With Van Ness, he's going to have to play. Like there is zero doubt because of Rashawn's situation with the knee coming back. They're going to need him to be at least in the rotation, like from the get-go. Like it's going to be a dark day in Green Bay if we get to camp and he's not running with the ones. Like God help us all, Like he's got to be. He's got to play.
Fair. I think the other thing about Van Ness that's nice too, though, is, Gary, they really bought time overall for him playing clearly, but they also didn't really use him inside much to begin with. I think the fact that Van Ness on past situations can move inside and be used as a rusher in that situation too is going to give him even more opportunities to get on the field. And I agree with Brian, what he said in the press conference last night, right? Like, I think Gary could have played more, early. You weren't taking Preston or Zedarius off the field. Like those two were so good in Gary's first season. Like there just weren't snaps there for Rashawn Gary. So, I think he's in a different situation, as you mentioned, with Gary's injury. But this is going to be a trio for a while that I think Packer fans are going to be excited about, with Enigbare, Gary, and Van Ness.
Andy, you are an absolute legend. You are welcome to hang out. I'm sure folks would love to talk to you, but if you've got to jump, that's cool too. I do have a hand raised in the gallery. I want to talk to Joey real quick. Joey, we got all sorts of Packers bloggers in the house here. Joey, what's going on, man?
Hello. My question is actually for Andy. I
There you
just
go.
wanted to know how many Diet Sprites I need to send to your house for you to wear that hat to a press conference.
That's a great question. This hat I'll wear to a press conference. I know Jair had the big hat originally, right? So that's the
right.
So I don't know. I'll talk to you. We'll talk offline and figure out. That's more of a Tom Grassi move, or that Tom would wear a huge hat to a press conference. So maybe you talk to him first.
Okay, I'm just imagining you in a locker room availability, like bumping into guys and still
Jair and
bumping into Jair, like they both have their hats
Yeah,
and they
exactly.
that 100%. I love it.
Oh, amazing.
I love it. Andy, Andy, I think we have Big B also with his hand up. Look at this. We got all sorts of cross-pollination of bloggers and podcasters. Big B, what's going on, man?
All right. Well, I also am asking questions about the hat. I want to know, where the hell did you get that beautiful thing? Because I really want to get one.
Mike Douglas posted it in the chat on the side. I don't know if everyone can see it or just, I don't know who's privy to it, but Noggin Boss is the name of the brand. So yeah, it looks like Mike Douglas put it in the chat for everyone, but you can get your huge, big hat for, people with huge egos and big heads at Noggin Boss.
They're phenomenal.
Well, everybody knows I got a
It
huge
is
ego,
phenomenal.
so that's good.
The whole
that's
breaking Aaron
what
Rodgers
Twitter says.
right to your head, Big B.
That's what Twitter says, no doubt about it. Andy, what are you doing for day 3 of the draft? Are you sitting on your couch or are you busy with the family?
Yeah, I've got a friend over from out of town, so I'm gonna bump out of here in just a second because I'm being an awful host, but wanted to come say hi to everyone really quick. So yeah, I'm gonna be doing that tomorrow, just hanging out, and then right after the draft, I'll do a live Q&A with everyone. So yeah, looking forward to that over on the Pack-A-Day YouTube channel as well.
Awesome, man. Well, thanks so much for stopping by. I really appreciate it.
You bet. Great to see everyone. Enjoy the rest of the draft, guys.
Later. Thanks a lot. Talk to you soon, man. I got a bunch of super chats I got to get to. Sorry, guys. Okay, got Brian. Have the Packers announced jersey numbers yet? Yes, they have. Musgrave is wearing 88, and Reed is wearing number 1. First Packers player to do so since Curly Lambeau. Justin, thanks for the super chat. Pick 78 is prime Jake Haener territory. If we're going to follow the 2008 script, we need our Brom Flynn. I'm telling you, I would not be surprised if they took a quarterback, especially in round 3. It would not surprise me at all. Rocky, thanks for the super chat. Love that hat, Andy. Padres were using one to celebrate home runs, and New Era got all butthurt. So the league put a stop to it. MLB gonna MLB. Is that true? That's awful. That's ridiculous. It'd be like if Foamation got upset because the Brewers were using the cheesehead. Which, by the way, the Brewers are playing right now, aren't they? See, this is the one nice thing with Banky not being here. I can actually talk about the Brewers. Ryan says, I can't take Andy seriously. Well, he's wearing a big hat. That doesn't change the tenor of his content. John, hand up. What's up, buddy?
Yeah, a couple things. I think the numbers are getting to a point where the third round's not going to be a curse anymore, right? Eventually, you're going to pick somebody in the third round that's going to be great.
I mean, yeah. I mean, you could say that heading into every year, though. It's like been a long time. There's been a long time since they hit in the third round. Yeah, I feel you.
The other thing I wanted to just say is this seems like it's really Goody's draft. I feel like he's really in control. The way he handled the whole Jet situation and all this trading down and getting extra picks, he's just a master at this now, and I'm just really impressed. And for all these people that whine about us drafting this and that and the other thing, those people are never happy. So it's like, whatever.
Correct. Yes, that is correct. The Brewers are tied at the top of the 7th. All right, let's pull one out. Luke, thanks for the super chat. With all these Lukes, I think I could long snap. I'm 6'1", 230, run a 7'6'3", blown out knee, and beer belly. Thoughts, Joseph? I think, Luke, we're going to safely put you in the undrafted category. We might give you a call after the draft. I think that could happen. DP Napes, James Jones, 3rd round. Yeah, and how long ago was that? You have to go back to James Jones. Dude, it's the year of our Lord, 2023. The 3rd round is cursed, I'm telling you. I'm sorry, we have who? Who is that, Nicole? Michael. What's up, Michael?
Hey, Aaron. I just wanted to kind of chime in a little bit. And I'm not actually looking for us to win the Super Bowl next year. So I'm just excited about all the talent that we are acquiring, to let them grow with Jordan. And, I'm probably a little bit, well, I know I'm older than a lot of our peeps on here, but see, I still remember back in the days when we had David Whitehurst as a quarterback. So
I do too.
So, I just the fact I think that he's done a great job putting talent around Jordan, and I'm excited, really excited to watch this team next year with all this young talent. And I'm just looking for growth, throughout the year. That everybody just getting better, and then once, and then after Jordan's first year of starting, and once we get into the 2nd and 3rd year, I think they're going to be pretty stout. I'm
That's the plan. That is certainly the plan.
I was even optimistic.
Certainly. There's no doubt. No doubt. DeGuara will beat the 3rd round jinx this year. What's taking so long, Joe? Yeah, TK. No, Tim has it right. Morgan Burnett was the last good 3rd rounder they have selected. That is correct. I still think Sean Ryan can play. I hope so, Brian. It was really hard to get him on the field last year. In camp, he wasn't even running with the ones in any meaningful way. And then he gets suspended for 6 games. He was inactive, I think, for every game prior to that. Like, 3rd round, man. It's tough. It's tough sledding in the 3rd round for the Green Bay Packers. Tony, Randy right or Randy wrong? That's tough stuff. Soder, what's up, man?
Michael has missed out on some great Whitehurst discussion points. For dear God, I need him.
Yes, he has
more often. Hey, look, I'm kind of excited to see what happens now that we've moved past Jerry Gray, and I'm kind of excited by that because corners and safeties, by and large, haven't developed over the past 5 to 10 years. Whether that's Rollins, whether that's Randall, whether that's Stokes. So it will be interesting to see what happens, and it'll be interesting to see how Joe Barry tries to adjust the defense to fit to what the talent is.
I mean, yeah, I'm not holding my breath. It's just that thing where it's every year, like, okay, you've got all this talent, and we talk about it throughout the entirety of the offseason. And I remember last year I kept saying, yeah, on paper, it looks really good. On paper, it looks great. And then you get to Minnesota week 1 and they blow the doors off the place, I'm with you in the sense that I am fascinated to see what the departure of Jerry Gray means for the secondary, especially the corners, right? How they're coached, what they're asked to do, what the rules are coverage-wise. Got to think that's all going to get stripped down and changed and somewhat kind of hopefully improved. But, man, you still got to put them in a position to succeed. And it's just so inconsistent with Joe calling the coverages, calling the plays on defense. I mean, I hope I'm wrong. I hope he shocks the world, but my confidence level in Barry is not very high.
Well, rule 1, do not put Rasul Douglas in the slot. If we just do that, that's a win.
I think that's that's the thing, though. It's like, I don't think that's a crazy incisive thing. Like, I think that's should have been pretty apparent, yet they went down that road anyway. I don't know. I just don't know. Man, we got some people going down memory lane in the chat. I love it. Vi Sikahema. We got Vince Workman. Love it. Philip Epps. That's right. Just name old random Packers. I'll sit here and read them for days. I don't care, man. Cletus Hunt. There you go. Love it. Love it. So we got what? We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 picks away, or 5 picks away, really. Bubba Franks. There you go. Who else? KGB. Boy, KGB. What a ride. That stuff. KGB. He got PAID paid by Mike Sherman. John Hadel. Now we're getting rough. John Hadel. Sanjay Beach. Sam Congato. Travis Jervey. There we go. Scott Hunter.
You said
Deshaun Wynn.
Hadel.
I know somebody in the chat. Al Harris. Aaron Campman. Love this. This is just a trip down memory lane. Paul Ott Caruth. Ed West. Tony Fisher. Tony Fisher is just like the quintessential like memory of Packers in October at Lambeau. Tony Fisher's out there as a rotational guy. You can smell the brats. You can taste the beer. It's Tony Fisher, man. That's good stuff right there. Johnny Holland. Brady Papinga. Najee Davenport. Elijah Pitts. I love these. Herb Adderley. There you go. Now, there you go. Wasn't Jervey that guy was going to get a tiger? Going to get a tiger. He got a tiger. Or was it a lion? I can't remember. One of the two. But he had it, and it was his pet, and he kept it at his house. AJ Hawk. Gravedigger. There you go. Earl Dotson. Wayne Simmons. Ooh, Nicholas. Aaron Rodgers. Damn. Paul Kaufman. There you go. Tobin Rote. Love it. These are legendary names. Doug, what's going on, man? Talking about some legends here. Nobody said Chuck Cecil.
Bro, have you seen my background here? Do you see the
I love it.
In the exuberance?
It's impossible to miss.
Right
I love it.
The magic.
That's it, baby.
And then did you notice in the corner down here the little motorcycle guy? You got the Magic Man on the motorcycle right there. See him?
Love it.
There.
Love it.
Dude.
Absolutely.
The boss. You know what I'm saying? I love these vibes that we're bringing back because we were really good in 1989, guys. Don Mikowski was amazing. Then we took the next step to the Super Bowl, but do not perish or worry because we have somebody coming out of the Packers that grew up a Bears fan and now he wears the number of Curly Lambeau, bro. And not only that, in his presser, he said, get ready. He said, be prepared for house calls because punt returning is my game and it's what I do. And he's like, be prepared. I was like, whoa, because I grew up playing.
That's what we like.
In Wisconsin for case as a punt returner, and I'm telling you, mentality is everything. We need guys who that ball is mine. I'm gonna take that ball and shove it down your throat and take it to the house. And this dude showed up in the presser like he was the #1 pick in the draft. Okay, and he was super charming, gracious, kind, ready to work. He said that he is a cheesehead now, even though he grew up in Chicago and he loves it. He loves being part of the Packers and he's a weight room monster. He went from 160 to like 195 in college and he's a leader in a weight room. He's a leader on special teams and he's a football player. He's like, I am not a wide receiver. I am a football player. And I came away from that presser just now thinking like, wow, like that's the kind of guy I want to draft. I'm not surprised the Packers drafted this dude because if I met with him and he said, bro, be ready for house calls, I'd be like, write his goddamn right now, bro. Because we lacked that. We didn't have these guys until recently that are like, give me the damn ball. I'm taking it to the house, right? We've got a nice kick returner now, but we need that mentality on this team. Also, I want to give a shout out to Joey, who's my big inspiration. I love Joey's reporting from the Lambeau and stuff so much. So what's up, Joey? I want to do some fun content with these guys, but Aaron, like these guys that we're drafting right now, I really like the character and the mentality that we got. I think we got actual football players on the team.
I'm with you, man. I love it. And I just want to address something in the chat right here. Somebody asking, what's up with Bloody Nose Guy in the background? Bloody Nose Guy? Bloody Nose Guy? That's Chuck Cecil. Bloody Nose Guy.
Bro,
too many kids don't know. Too many kids don't know. We got Ron Cox, Keith Jackson. Whoa, Nelly. I love it. Kevin Barry, 71, tackle eligible. I literally could do this all night. I could just do this. Read old Packers names. I love it so much. Amazing. Just amazing. But I think Ken has his hand raised, so I want to go to Ken. What's going on, Ken?
So I was just, when you're talking about, somebody said, well, David Whitehurst was the quarterback when I started watching the Packers. I was thinking, holy cow,
Oh,
Bart
no.
Starr was the quarterback when I started watching the Packers.
Oh,
And then I
man.
had to suffer through going from Starr to, Scott Hunter and Jerry Taggy and whatever. But the other thing I wanted to go back to was what Soder was saying and talking about the defensive backs and what we were doing. And I was reading the
Right.
CHTV guide, and I thought it had a really
Yep.
interesting analysis of, depending upon what defense the Packers played, how they played relative to the rest of the NFL. And I think
That was Dara's
defense-
piece. It was so good.
Yeah, I think Barry's defense is supposed to be primarily cover 3, right? And
Well, traditionally when you do like the very kind of bare bones of the system,
Yeah.
it's predominantly cover 3.
and
They
they
cover,
didn't
and
do
there's a
very
lot of
well
cover
in
4 too, though.
3.
But
They didn't
no,
do
they were
very
terrible
well
in
in cover 3 or cover 4, but they did very well in cover 1, which was really interesting.
cover 1, which they almost never ran.
Exactly. But when
So
they
here we
ran
go.
it, they were really
we got the
good at it.
Rams on the clock. All right. Yeah, that was the thing. They were good at cover 1, and look, they went to a lot more 2-high looks, both 2-man and cover 2 after the bye week, which is when they really started to get their eyes on the ball. They started picking things off, blah blah blah. There was certainly improvement there, but it still wasn't great. That's the other problem. Man,
But
I love
it
this.
was like
I'm just
when
going to keep
Jair
going.
started following guys and stuff like that. That's when they started
Yes.
getting better.
Amazing how that works, right? And it wasn't exclusive, but it was a lot more than it had been.
Right.
Oh, Smith South, what a pull. Colt Lyerla. Wow. That's a pull. He was like a Packer for like a week or a little bit longer, but wow, that's
Bobby
incredible.
Anderson.
Mike Daniels. Bobby Anderson, there you go. James Lofton, John Jefferson, Derek Mays, Paul Hornig, Tim Shea, Eddie Lee Ivory. I love it.
Atari.
Soda, what's up, man?
Eddie Lee Ivory was screwed
What's on,
with
Soder?
freaking turf in Chicago, man.
Yeah, he was.
So I'm going to piggyback off what Ken just said, and this is the depth of my Packer fandom. The first memory in my life, I'm like 3 years old, and my mom is screaming at the TV, going, "Get moving, lead butt," as she references Jerry Taggy's inability to avoid the sack.
That left a mark. It imprinted itself on your brain.
No, it was all about the
I love it.
Packers, right? I mean, the first memory that is, it's about the Packers.
Yeah. My first memory is with going to Lambeau with my grandpa when I was 3 years old. That's like the earliest memory I have. I remember how it smelled. I remember how it looked. I remember everything about it. It's crazy. Rob, thank you for the super chat. This is the year we break the 3rd round curse. The punter we select will be the second coming of Bucky Scribner. Man, don't put that out in the universe. Come on now. Mike Sherman ain't our GM anymore. Talking about punters in the 3rd
It was
round.
David Beverly at
Refuse.
the end of that, right?
Just stop. Just stop, Soder. Stop. Jason, thanks for the super chat. So many tight ends taken and not one of them Washington. I wonder what the book is about Darnell. Is he just viewed as a blocker? I believe, I know Albert Breer put it out there that teams are worried about some medical stuff. So I suspect he'll obviously still go probably tomorrow, maybe at the end of this round. Who knows? But it sure sounds like there's some kind of medical issue that teams are worried about or have misgivings about. So the Patriots have taken Marte Mapu, whoever that is, and the Rams are on the clock, which means the Packers are 1 pick away, if you can believe it. Brian Price, thanks for the super chat. Is there a Luke from Georgia? Goot will have to. That's good. Oh, wow. Great pull, John. Jim McMahon. Now there's an ex-Packer. Seneca Wallace, Harlan Huckleby, Sean Jones, man. Sean Jones does not get brought up enough for how fucking awesome he was on that defense, man. Because obviously you've got Reggie, he's an all-world, like could change the game, change the place, blah blah blah. But man, people don't talk about Sean Jones enough and how fucking great he was, because he was great, a great player. Hunter Hillenmeyer, he was like a Packer, like for like a month, right? That's crazy. And then got picked up by the Bears and went on and played really well for them. Santana Dotson, another great piece of that line. No doubt about it. MacArthur Lane. Look at you guys. Frank Zumbo. Love it. Absolutely love it. Donald Lee. There you go. D. Lee. What's up, D. Lee? One of my favorite NFL Films clips. Jimmy Robinson on the sideline after he makes a catch for a first down. Jimmy Robinson's there going, "That's right, D. Lee. Good job, D. Lee." Love it. Never forget Cullen Jenkins. The Rams have picked Byron Young. The Packers are on the clock. Roll the graphic. Oh, yeah. Packers are on the clock. Ladies and gentlemen, we have blogging and podcast royalty here. Maggie Loney is in the house. What's up, Maggie? Good to see you.
I don't know about royalty.
Just in time for the pick. Yeah. How are you? So who do you want here? Who do you? Right, exactly. Who do you want here? What are you thinking?
I would like a safety, please. That is my hope. But
any particular safety you have in mind?
I don't know. Who's your guy? Was it Skinner? Was Skinner your guy?
No. Branch was my guy, but he's long. Branch was my guy, but he's long gone. People love Battle, man. He has been all up in my. People keep talking about him in my mentions on Twitter. I've done very, very little kind of work. Oh, I know who the Packers selected. Tucker Kraft. Tucker Kraft is your newest Green Bay Packers, ladies and gentlemen. You like that?
Getting Jordan Love his weapons. It's another tight end.
All about the weapons. Another tight end. We talked about them doubling up at the position, and that's what they do. Let's throw it to Joseph real quick. Joseph, what's the skinny? What do we think? What are we talking about when we talk about Tucker Kraft?
So Tucker's your traditional Y, and he dominated at South Dakota State. I want to say his last year about 700 receiving yards and 8 touchdowns. So the issue for him was just playing at the FCS level. Like, can he elevate? But again, Dallas Goedert came from there, 3-4 years ago. He made the transition. I like the projection that he can do the same thing. South Dakota State's turning into a power at FCS. Maybe they one day make the break to FBS, but for right now, I think he fits what they want to do as a number 2 tight end. Like, you could definitely do a lot worse. And depending on how Musgrave works out, I mean, he could push for number 1 because he definitely has the blocking skills there. And I think he's a little bit faster too.
I love it. I mean, this tight end room has suddenly gotten very interesting. We knew coming into this draft, they needed it, right? They needed to bolster the position. You thought there was a possibility they might double up today, and that's exactly what they've done. I love it. Can we go back to Maggie real quick? I want to talk to Maggie about her impressions of the draft in general. What are you thinking, Maggie, as far as you take the Van Ness pick yesterday, and then you throw in a lot of offensive help today? How are you feeling about the work Brian's done through 2 days?
I mean, I know that it wasn't like Packer fans' favorite picks, but Luke Van Ness is such a Packer prospect, such a Packer pick, 21 years old, freaky athlete, high upside. Like, I think edge was, I mean, I don't want to call it a need, but we're talking about probably Preston Smith's last year in Green Bay, Rashawn Gary coming off an ACL. You've got yourself set up now as a really nice tandem for the future. JJ Enagbari, really nice rotational piece. So your edge is set. And it just, we clearly see that wide receiver is not a position that the Packers value in the first round because they're so good at finding talent in the second round. And Jaden Reed's kind of an interesting pick here. I think I didn't really have him on my quote unquote big board because of his metrics and the way that we see Packers, their typical size thresholds, but I'm excited about it. I think it's about time they have maybe a more traditional slot player for Matt LaFleur to really kind of go nuts in his offense, but really like both tight end picks as well. So glad day 2 is all about offense for Jordan Love. Get him some weapons.
And do we think what are your? I mean, the things we talked about coming into the draft, as far as you mentioned needs, right? And offensive line got talked about a lot as far as a possibility at 13. Obviously, they went the other way. Do you think that might be something they look at tomorrow as far as adding to that kind of mix? I mean, I know Brian's taken a lot of offensive linemen over the course of the last few years, but it's not like every one of them is hit, and it's not like you can never have too many. You think they address that again tomorrow?
Absolutely, especially with them, kind of trading down from 45, like collecting a couple more day 3
Right.
picks. I think it's pretty safe to assume that they're going to take at least 2, if not 3 offensive linemen tomorrow. It felt a little rich for them to do it today or for them to do it yesterday. I would have been really surprised. Wouldn't have been upset if it was a guy like Broderick Jones, Skronsky, but especially Skronsky. I think that would have been fun, just, given who his grandfather is.
Totally
But
agree. Yeah.
I'm glad I'm happy with the way that all of these picks are going, even though that doesn't seem to necessarily be the consensus.
Oh, when is it ever? This idea that, any of the Packers fans are ever going to be happy with the picks is just like, I've given up on that. That's never going to be the case. If anyone out there is not aware, you got to be listening to Maggie's podcast with Perry Goldstein. Pack's What She Said.
Thanks.
It is thebomb.com. You guys are knocking it out of the park. How was it last night breaking down the pick with you were with Baldy, right?
I do love Baldy. He's fantastic. It was fun. It was very quick, very fast. The first round moved so quickly that,
Yeah.
didn't get to talk too much, but I think Luke Van Ness was like the most perfect Packer pick for that situation.
It's like, yeah,
I know it
like,
was
like they couldn't have teed it
just,
up for you any
like-
better, right?
Yeah.
That's great. Well, Maggie, I really appreciate you stopping by. Obviously, you're free to hang out if you want. Or I understand everybody's time is precious, but I'm going to be wrapping it up here pretty soon, actually, because now we ain't got no more Packers picks. Although the Packers could jump back up into the mix here. We got a couple of people with their hand raised. Is that Mark? Is it Mark joining us from across the pond? What's going on?
What's up? How you doing?
How are you, sir? I'm doing well.
I'm good, man. I'm good. How are we feeling about this draft?
I'm loving it. I know Packers fans are split, but I'm absolutely adoring it. I love getting a guy who can terrorize quarterbacks, and I love getting a bunch of toys for Jordan Love. I'm all about it.
Yeah.
How are you
agree. I
feeling
mean,
about it over there?
Yeah, I'm good. The craft pick just like took me to a nice extra level of enjoying it. Because he was a favorite of mine. So that was good.
Oh,
I
really?
actually like
What do you like about him? Why?
I
What do you
just
like
think
about him?
he blocks really well. And I think there's kind of a lot of upside in the passing game, which he hasn't really like had the chance to do. But every time on tape they actually threw him the ball, he looked good, but they just didn't do it a lot. So that was my thing with him. So I actually liked him more than Musgrave. So I was pretty happy we got him just now. So yeah, I'm feeling good. We've got some toys for Jordan Love, so it's good. Looking into the new era. So it's exciting stuff, man.
Love it. Yeah, I'm thrilled. I wish they were starting camp tomorrow, but we gotta wait. We gotta wait and see what happens on day 3. What are you thinking for day 3? What do you think they address tomorrow?
It's tough. Like I honestly have no idea. Like I have no feel for. Obviously, like at some point it feels like they have to draft a safety, but like I just don't really like any of them that much. Like
Any of the safeties? I know, but that's what's so weird this year, right? Is like they have this so obvious glaring need, but there is just not much on offer in the draft. It's odd. It's really odd. But you got to think they probably take one, don't you?
I mean, yeah, you have to kind of take one eventually just to like see. Like especially once you get to day 3, it's kind of like just who cares at that point? Just take one. But it's like all the guys I liked didn't test very well or didn't test at all. So like
that was
just
me.
makes
Yep.
it really difficult. So that's bad. And then like the guys that I didn't really like tested really well, and then I was like, oh, okay. So like I'm either going to be like happy that they took someone, but like a bit cautious because they didn't test well, and it's like, are they actually a good athlete or not? Or they'll take someone that I didn't like, but they tested really well, so I'll just have to get on board with it. So Yeah, but I mean, other than that, I'd like to see them take a corner tomorrow, just because the corner class is so deep. It just feels like do that.
You can never have too many. Yep.
No, and a running back. I'd like a running back tomorrow because there's a ton of running backs I like. So that's what I'm looking for. But I think like skill positions wise, other than running back, like wide receiver, tight end, I'm good. I'm pretty much good now. Maybe you try and get like one of the more big-bodied receivers, because obviously Reed is a smaller guy. So if they take like a
smaller guy,
maybe more of an Alan Lazard kind of role, that could be good. But yeah, a lot of options. They got a couple more picks tomorrow now, right? Because of the trades earlier. So
yeah, they do. Got 2 extras. Yep. Yeah, 2 extras after trading down twice. So we're going to be a busy group tomorrow. Mark, thanks a lot for checking in, man. Really appreciate it.
No worries.
We got Joseph. What's up, Joseph?
Is Maggie still here?
I do not know. I don't think so. Maybe. Can we see the gallery? No, I think she had to jet.
Okay. I just wanted to know, we keep bringing it up. I was like, is Tucker Kraft, an attractive guy? I mean, she might know, I don't know how that works, but everybody keeps bringing up the
Man, you're breaking it all down. Breaking it all down. Absolutely. Although all I keep hearing and reading is that this guy is a motherfucker. Like he is someone who's going to get after it and be physical as hell. And that's, I mean, I am in. I'm all about that guy with attitude. A guy who's
when you're at a
be
small
physical.
school, you gotta be. You can't be a softie coming from a small school. You got to do everything right. The guys from bigger programs, they can do less and still, get drafted. We talk all the time about getting T-shirt drafted. See a guy at the combine. Ooh, Ohio State. What's your name? You're the 5th guy on the depth chart.
Right.
All right, we'll take it. Not a So I'm looking forward to it. And let me correct myself. He's not faster than Musgrave. He's more agile. So for anybody,
all right,
finds me in the chat.
I'll take that. I'll take that. I'll take that. All right, I'm gonna close this down, and I will be back. Oh, we got Soder. Soder, what's up?
Let's go really deep on Tyler Kraft. Tyler Kraft went to South Dakota State University. South Dakota State University stole the fight song from Miami University. The last tight end to play for the Packers from Miami University is Tom Crabtree. Are we happy with
Going deep, man?
Do we
Tom Crabtree
feel good about Tom Crabtree? Level-esque play?
Always.
I think I'm okay with that.
Look, I just want someone with attitude who's going to kick some ass. Man, that sounds like what this kid's going to do, and I'm all about that.
Tom kicked ass, so I'm okay with that.
Exactly. Riley Angel, thank you for the super chat. With Watson last year and Kraft this year, is this proof Ross Uglum is sneaking into Green Bay's draft room and making picks? Entirely possible. Jason Anderson, thank you for the super chat. Kraft's game reminds me of Chewy. Same body type and mentality, not spectacular, but steady, reliable, sure-handed, a good blocker, and a chain mover. Maybe he'll wear 89. I'm all about some stability and a guy who's going to be trustworthy and know the assignments and move the chains with regularity. I'm all in. I love it. Bucky Boyd, thank you for being a Carry the G Club member and saying, just came in to say, go Pack, go. Love you, Cheesehead TV. Goody is cooking. Let's go and carry the G. That's what I'm talking about. All right, everybody. I am going to shut it down for tonight. I'll be back all day tomorrow. Come hang out with us. It's going to be a lot of fun. Really appreciate everyone's support of Cheesehead TV, whether you're on, Patreon, whether you're the Carry the G Club member. You just show up and chat and hit like and subscribe. Really, really appreciate it. Thanks a lot, everybody. We'll be back tomorrow for all the action, rounds 4 through 7. The Packers will undoubtedly take a billion times. The draft tomorrow is at noon, so I'll probably make it live like 5 minutes before, but settle in, get yourself, stock up your fridge, settle in and watch the draft with us all afternoon from roughly noon to 6 is when it takes. So looking forward to it. Thanks a lot for hanging out tonight, and go Pack, go.